All right, 12:07, call meeting to order. We have. I'd like to say,
Just to introduce myself, I'm Roger Cardinal. I live here full time. One of the only, I think, two homeowners in Green Spring that are actually full-time full-time residents. I'm the treasurer of the Rotary Club of Deerfield Valley. I'm on the finance committee for Green Spring. My background, a very long one. My undergraduate degree is in accounting. My master's degree is in taxation, uh, both of which are now ancient. Uh, I heard they've changed the tax rules once or twice in the last 45 years or so. I've been an avid supporter of libraries for forever. I was very active in Friends of the Library in my small town in Massachusetts for many years, and we worked very closely with the library director. I thought we had invented the concept of um, buying a book as a great way for people to do tax deductible Christmas gifts. You just basically make a donation to the library and the amount that Ally pays for a book. We put a little name plaque in it saying, donated by Sally Jones. And you've made a contribution to the library. We're going to buy the same book anyway, in all probability, because we would never have her buy a book that we weren't doing. And then I learned later that many, many friends of the libraries have been doing that for years. So much for my invention. But we always had, it is, it's great. And you pitch it, around Christmas time as it's perfectly legitimate. I mean, you're making a contribution to the library. All the library gets is some money that supplements the budget. So as long as that's something that can be used, and it's a quick pitch in a couple of the newsletters. And we always had a very close relationship with the library director, and of course, Ally is a Rotarian with us. So I've known Ally for quite some time now. And
What town in Massachusetts are you from?
a billion years ago was Halifax, Massachusetts, which is down towards Plymouth and Carver way. Small, like Dover, small town. We actually had the big thing that came in town was we got a Walmart. We fought tooth and nail over it.
yeah,
That gave us two stoplights in town, which is two more than we've got in Dover.
When did you move here?
We moved here full time 6 years ago, I think. My wife had a place in Searsburg for many years, a weekend place with her ex-husband. And then we were there for a number of years. And Searsburg, if it's got its own little microclimate. I would have to shovel 2 feet of snow on days that it had not snowed the night before. It was all my neighbor's snow just blowing into me. So we finally got wooed by a number of friends to come to the valley, and we've been at Green Spring ever since. And I guess it was, 5 years ago. I guess we've been here for about 7, 5 years ago that we happened to be in our living room, looked out the window at the mountain because we have a perfect view of the mountain, and said, we could do this. The golf up here is every bit as good as it is on the Cape, and the skiing on the Cape just is not up to the standards here. And we said, we're full time. And for the longest time, we were the only residents here full time. We love it. We've gotten very active in the town. My wife is on the planning commission. She's on the task force for the water committee, and we're just finding that it's a good town to get involved with, that there are a lot of good people. Don't try to keep any secrets from the world up here, but it's a great little town with a wonderful library.
I agree. You're here.
thanks, Roger.
Thank you. And your name again, I'm Roger.
Cardinal, like the bird. Oh, if you need my contact information, let me give it to you.
If it's fine with you, I can forward the.
Sure.
email you sent
Okay.
me to the other board
That's fine.
members so they can
Sure.
you have the.
Yep. Gee, that looks a lot like the QuickBooks reports that
Carol is.
I'm so happy to hear you're familiar.
painfully so, because the Rotary actually is two separate legal entities. One is the charitable, the other is the entity itself. And everything that goes into the entity itself is not tax deductible. It's our dues and our operating costs. And everything that goes into the charitable one is, tax deductible. So I've got for every payment, I have to say, this one or that one. It's a pain.
It's way easier to hear.
Good, good. Glad to hear it.
All right. I think we move on to our next thing on the agenda, prior meeting minutes. Does
I make a
everyone,
motion to approve.
Second it.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, passes unanimously. All right,
Sorry,
moving,
blessing thing.
that's all good. Moving on to the financial reports.
I've got the budget
Here,
versus actuals. If you want something different up first, let me know.
Is it also in here? Did the report come to us so I can look at it?
yeah, we got emailed.
I can't actually read it up there.
Yeah, I don't know if I
That's
got it
for the
emailed.
month of September, Ally,
So how?
or year to date?
So the September is on the left-hand side and then the year to date. is on the
Okay.
right.
I got the
Gotcha.
director's
No.
report.
And
I
there's
need
the
Financial report.
That's
the-
There's two.
It's- I'm sure there's a
Oh, I
better
see.
way
Okay.
to project.
Got it. Nope.
this.
We have the director.
I will.
sent it to you guys all in one group.
Yeah.
Shit,
Well, I
sorry.
don't. You have my regular email, not the library one.
You know what? I
Right.
download it and actually
I mean,
open it.
They just had to send it to Allison.
in
Yeah, I
the
don't have
PDF.
a library. Send it now. Did, so I will.
Yeah.
Send it down in
No,
that
I don't want it.
gmail.com.
I want it as a PDF. It's a little bigger.
Okay. I
If you
think
get rid of the columns on the left, right, well, I think you can close that.
There we
window.
go. Woohoo!
you go ahead. No. Send it on October.
Now it's really.
Third, what was October third?
Oh, that looks nicer. There we go. I can see that.
Beautiful.
I've been driving Emery back and forth to the eye doctor, and every time I go, I'm like, maybe I should come too. I can't see anything.
Oh, there it is. Thanks. There you go. She blew it up on the screen.
Yeah. It's much
Uh-huh.
That's bad. It's like, yeah, yeah.
Now I just have to figure out how to
Just
get
trying to
this with the
see.
bars and everything at the
It's-
top. Is that? How's that?
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Whoa.
Wow, you fancy.
Feeling pretty smart for figuring that out. I'm a lie. So tell me when you want the second page up. This is just the first.
I've got a quick question that everybody else already knows the answer to, and it's not related to September. What was 141,000 from the town? I think-
That's half of our yearly allotment.
Gotcha.
Appreciations.
Thank you.
Now, you don't normally budget for it. Is that why there's
Yeah.
a budget of 0 for the year?
It's
Um,
back burner, but it's on my list.
Or do you budget for it at the end of the year? Is that just the budget to, is that the full year budget in the budget column on the right?
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Okay.
We do anticipate
Yep.
usually what we'll get
Yep.
from the town.
Yep.
So, I'm not sure. That's a Carol question. That's,
Okay.
What's
Just I see the 141,000 that came in the year-to-date columns. And Ally said that's about half of your expected allotment for the year. But there was nothing in the full year budget column for that. Do we just not budget for that and anticipate it, or does it show up in the budget in a different place, or?
does different place.
Okay.
There've been some bugs.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Every
I'm,
so-
I'm painfully aware of how easy it is to have bugs in the QuickBooks, no problem.
Stumble across
Yep.
occasional, lingering problems that
Sure.
we didn't know were there until all of a sudden.
No problem, understood.
it pops up, So,
Oh, you know what? Down here on the second page, it is in that column for the,
Total.
yeah, for
And
total
the operating
expenses. Or,
Okay, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
well, no, that's not the amount from the town though. I don't know.
Okay.
have to look at previous years
Yeah.
and see if it populated the same way or not.
Cause it must be something like that, because that would show that your full year budget was that you were expecting to lose $250,000 for the year. And I'm sort of guessing that was not your planned budget, I guess.
Did
Oh, you'd be one of the shortest library directors. Okay. Problem.
Do you think I'm gonna move to Dover? Yeah.
You keep this on a cash basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your fiscal year? Or is it a calendar?
July through June.
Carol, do you typically have any big things happening in June that screw up when either expenses or income comes in, that it relates to something that you did in June, but the money only comes in July, or vice versa? Nothing? Okay.
The utility type things, but big.
Okay.
I try not to be a big spender. Of just
Yeah.
you know, but-
Good.
When July hits.
What are trustee services?
You get paid to be a trustee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see, it's 1,500 budgeted for the full year. There are how many trustees?
Stay right under that $600 reporting limit.
It's.
I have no idea.
I didn't know we were getting paid.
If it's.
Very, very minimal. On June, you'll get a check for.
It goes right down to the minute, at whatever the rate is, the chair gets a higher extra, doing the extra that they do. And then at the end of the fiscal year, we do write one check for.
Gotcha.
Back on the first page, I had a
Sure.
budget fund transfer. What's going on there?
Oh.
That is a long story thing, so. It's the
What line is
remaining
it?
Oh,
unspent
415.
budget from the previous year. If we can kind of roll forward
Okay.
and trying to figure out the best way to do, when they figure out the next budget, are we going to reduce by that amount, or is that need to get spent down? That was, at the previous meeting, that's what Sue was asking.
Yeah.
You know, and we do have some feelers out to professional levels to ask what our
She needs some.
Yeah,
area
but the
budget
card's
could
open.
be.
Hey, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. I need the card key to trans
It's open.
Corey. Okay.
I left it open so she could get the car seat.
Okay. That's just a roll over budget fund transfer. Okay.
We hear back yet from the auditor about what.
Still in progress. They asked me just after last meeting for, the full general ledger for 23. They could look at that one compared to 24. Ask for anything else new since that. So, and she said that it would, our results would be lumped in with the town's results. Get that from Marco when it's all done.
The they that's asking for this is the select board?
We haven't been under the town's audit for many years.
Okay.
This year we've scratched and pulled and got our way back in.
Ah.
So this is our first time. I think 15 or more years ago, yes, but for a long time it has not been included. So we went to the select board and asked them to please include us and get us back in. So, I forget the name of the, yeah.
Okay.
Putting ours along with the town's annual
Okay,
audit.
good.
Yes.
Good.
Did they ever get back to you about the like reserve typical?
Well, not bad. Haven't, I don't know. We're trying to find out what
It's unlocked, but they're in your pocket.
What's all box, but she does.
what an appropriate number to keep in there. No, I don't have a number, but I will pose that to them again.
Yeah.
Fit and loss next.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay, just that much.
Nice and big for everybody again.
Yay. Wow, look at that.
That was less.
That's nothing.
This is for the month of September itself.
You know, I
Yeah.
actually might print it out for myself in the future. So on my phone and like squirrely squirrel.
I did have the iPad charged so that if somebody needed it, they could. Bring it.
On here, or is it on a different category? It's something we were gonna have on the agenda for later, but how much is the hoopla? For the month?
Yeah, I have it broken down.
Separate. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it.
So natural services.
Very 66.
The long check, so that was the stop payment tax.
Okay.
But she said it would be.
I know, it came in anyway.
Really?
They thought maybe that because they had done it at the bank for us, that there wouldn't be a charge because it didn't populate on their side, but it did. So yeah, stop.
She had told us that it wasn't going to be charged to.
They
Apparently,
call and ask for them too.
I don't have any access to that. It's
I
it's
can-
a pretty standard charge.
yeah, but
It's the only one we've had to do in the,
it sucks that we
like,
worked
year
on it,
that I've
wasn't
been
even
here.
charged.
so not a very common thing.
In the future, we can avoid that by I can do it on the computer and then just not charge if we do.
Who do you have your bank account with?
Community bank.
We just switched over to them this year.
You just switched over to them from,
Was TD?
M&T.
No, TD,
Oh, TD.
TD.
Yes.
oh, that was
Brattleboro.
Yeah.
Brattleboro.
So we wanted a local bank.
The staff development is. Thought it would be more, because does the hotel cost not go into that? Or-
I think that was last month,
Okay,
right?
It didn't come in on the credit card until this
Yeah.
month, right?
Mm.
So I,
so it's gonna be on the silver.
yeah, that could probably go in and change that date so that it does hit the September because that's when the conference was, but
Yeah,
that's it's on that, maybe now that I've reconciled. So that went on the credit card, which
Yeah.
is its own
it's a
count,
separate account.
but it still pulls into the numbers for this, but it to runs the credit card statement, it will only pull up the dates in that range. So now that it's cleared, or reconciled, I could probably change that date to what it this, but I did nothing. So if you'd like me to change that,
I know it's a small number up there by itself, but is the bank charges just happen to come in September, or is that a monthly, roughly a monthly?
That was that
That was a
one.
one-time.
One time,
thing,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, literally a one time,
Yeah.
okay.
One check got lost in the
Oh,
mail. We had to
fine.
reissue.
because you're not having to pay bank fees
Not at
No.
all.
on a regular basis. Good,
No, this is the first bank charge we've had show up since I started.
no problem.
Professional services, what was that, 5?
It's Cleaner
That's-
and Carol.
Okay,
Library clean and
would that,
all for wonderful service.
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, why doesn't that go under the servants and maintenance? Line 5310.
Service and maintenance is more like,
Like structural type.
Yeah.
Bigger-
Okay,
bigger
okay.
things.
Okay,
where it's not really service and maintenance anymore. It's like if I buy cleaning
so
products,
it's more in the
yeah,
equipment and furnishings and
yeah. Like maintenance,
Windows.
like I bought, some wipes.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I just was
So
trying to
labor-
figure out what the difference was
Yeah.
between 5310 and
Mm.
5321 there. 'cause
Uh,
it's like-
Basically where the labor element.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
it's the people versus the
Yeah,
things.
being an outside company, which is just in
I feel
the
you.
library.
So to make sure it was all
Yep.
okie. That looks cool to me.
Anybody see anything else they wanna,
Okay, and then I can bring.
balance sheet?
You should be able to put the arrow on the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
What were you saying?
Online services.
Online services.
What are the online services?
It's stuff like, Hoopla, Boundless,
Oh, it is, okay.
yeah,
So low this month,
it was low in September.
as it was really high.
Mhm.
It's gonna be high in October. Because we paid for the previous month. So in September, we're actually paying for this usage.
What's Vermont Com in terms of the accounts receivable?
Community fund. We have a fund in it. That's
Investment,
investments.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
And Carol, you do
Is
what?
money
You just
going in?
transfer from the money market to the checking account as needed for cash? Or,
Not personally,
Yeah.
I.
She requests it.
Usually, yeah,
okay, well,
The chair or the treasurer does it for me, but I let them know when the balances
Sure.
need to be done.
okay,
okay, that looks good.
There's a page.
We could definitely connect the two of you. That's more
And the-
questions.
What's-
Yeah.
what-
And the
what's
Free
that,
and budget surplus is one that is one of those old onion layers that still working on getting straightened out. What it boils down to is previous years, and I think that's, I have the printout, it's 20 fiscal year 18, 19, 20, and 21, and 23, I think, when they did the budget transfers for the end of the fiscal year. The way that they were recorded was not quite right. So trying to figure out how to undo that. No, it's not actually money sitting out there. It's
Yeah.
not
Because some of it-
180,000 in our bank account.
I know your pain.
Yeah, it's
Some
only
of
a
it is
figurative
that
number. It's not a real number.
already to
What
certain
is the
things.
HRA fund?
It's, so it was through our insurance, we also get an HRA fund.
It's in two places. And it's that second place. It just needs to be.
But it's health
It's
reimbursement
an
account,
error
okay.
reporting format.
I'm working on using it.
It doesn't.
If you run out of things to do, Diane's got plenty.
Okay.
She can make use of shortly. Very nice.
It's
Alright.
all looking hunky dory on my end.
Okay.
Now, Carol, are you the one who actually prepares these, or does the treasurer, you prepare them and the treasurer takes a look at them?
We all take a look at them.
I'll take a look, okay.
Previously, when we had, we did have a treasurer seat, I would forward those as soon as I had them ready to the chair and treasurer. And they would kind of go back and forth, make sure there's anything to be changed.
Yep.
And then
To the whole board.
send the final report.
Yep.
Then there's also, a book in the back that you should be taking a look at that has all of.
It's actually right here.
Oh, the monthly, yes.
Ledger.
Monthly ledger that
So
we should all be coming in and taking a look at.
the receipts or warrants or whatever you want to call them.
Okay,
And there's actually right now, I know we had August out here at the September meeting, but nobody signed off, but they
Okay.
looked through them.
So,
So I didn't file those away in case
Okay.
anybody else wanted to peek through. So there's September's and August to be. I put a signature page so we know at least 2 people have looked through the receipts before I file them away, just.
We should do that.
Extra.
Yeah.
I'll do that at the end of the meeting.
now when you
So
say
just remind me,
file
because-
them away, you're still talking about this paper stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I keep them they're in order with the general ledger
Yeah.
until after the meeting, or at least 2 people have signed off saying that they've looked through and don't have any questions on it. And then I file by a vendor. Next.
It was requested this year to start doing that so that we could be more accountable.
Yes. Very mindful.
okay. Move on to old business, the open trustee position. Candace, who was here last month, sent me an email a couple days ago, I think it was, that she is pulling her name out. She says her schedule does not line well.
She's travels a lot for her work, so she's gonna be gone at least
Yeah,
3 or 4 of the next upcoming meetings up through June or something like that, so.
Yep.
She was like, that might not be a good fit.
I don't have the
Yeah.
agenda.
It's a.
it's also up there. Yeah.
It's on here somewhere and it's.
We do have Roger here. He's shown interest. He sent me an email that I will forward to the rest of the board members. Pretty much tells what he told us at the meeting, but we'll have an email version of it. And then, if everyone's good with it, I would like to get that done quickly so that we can loop him into this budget that we're
Yeah.
gonna be trying to work on. And
I'm
get
pretty
it.
impressed.
Our recommendation to the select board quickly so that they can vote on it and appoint him.
Yes, please.
No, I've been
What
very,
is actually the process for
So-
becoming a
The
trustee?
board, it is an elected position, but when there's an opening, the select board
Points.
appoints and the current library board is who
Gotcha.
gets appointed.
To the select board
Yeah.
and the select board at their next meeting would
Make
vote
it
on it.
official,
make it
yeah.
official.
And then it would go for vote at the next town meeting.
Yeah, then you would have to run for.
Yeah, then you would run for it, the position.
Is it, are they annual,
It's 5 years position, so you apply for it.
But
You,
it depends on what
Right.
one is, because they're all at different
yeah,
number
it's
of
supposed to
years.
be,
whatever-
but I think this.
whenever this position ends is when
Yeah.
somebody would have to
Because
run.
I was appointed, Laura was appointed, and if you join the board, you would be appointed. And all 3 of us would have to run, plus I think there's one other, I don't know if it was you or Kathy.
Mine, I ran for.
Maybe it was
past
Susan,
year.
was the spot that you would have been filling that would need to be voted for.
Kathy and Diane ran. Last time.
Sue's is several more years. I think
It's-
hers was the longest.
27, I thought was. this-
And Jody's
the
was
position.
quite long too.
But the 3 of us would have to,
At whatever point this
Yeah.
term ran out.
yeah,
Yeah, you'd be appointed until March. You'd have to run in March and then you wouldn't have to run again until.
Oh, okay.
until it expires.
yeah.
Okay, so I would have to run this March irrespective of when the ending term.
And Laura will have to, and Richard,
All 3 of us.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Because the 3 of
Now,
us.
does that mean that 5 years from now, all 3 of us would?
No,
No.
it's,
The terms are staggered.
yeah, it's
Okay,
staggered
good.
for,
It's yearly. for
Gotcha.
both.
it's only when people leave and new people join that
Yep.
it gets all
Sure.
mixed up like this.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because if all of a
Yeah.
sudden with 3 being, up for election this year, does that mean that 5 years from
Yeah.
this
that-
year, everybody's out? Because that really screws up the process.
As long as everybody stays.
So as long as everybody sticks around, right?
so there's,
Oh, so the open seat does expire in 2025.
As long as Susan
Okay,
was
so
in.
it's the
Yeah.
last-
So that,
Okay,
yes,
so that
so
would be-
if you were appointed,
Yep.
you would run in March and then,
And then be
Okay.
good for 5 years.
Okay.
yeah. Laura, yours is 27
Mhm.
and Richard's is 29. Richard is in for the long haul.
And I have one more year and then.
So
you
what,
can
what
run
the,
again or something.
so what would happen with respect to Richard in March is that he has to be,
Position.
which ends in 2029.
It's like.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Tell you
You're
about
gonna
that.
get it. You're gonna get it.
Like get that.
All right. Any other questions, comments about the open trustee position?
Roger for
That
trustee.
was.
He knows treasurer stuff.
All right, so next up in old business is the 2025 budget. Allison has started working on it.
Yes.
We are
Fantastic.
coming up on a date to work on it together.
I replied to your email.
Yeah, I saw that. So the 17th is when we're doing your evaluation. So we'll already
Yes.
be here if you want to do it after that.
That's fine with
And
me.
possibly the 18th as well, depending on if we need all the time. And
You need
then
other help too, or just be you and possibly one other
I
trustee
think
or.
we're gonna loop in Earl as well if she's available. We'll have to get with her to figure
Yeah, I
out.
have to look,
Yeah.
I'll have to. grab the date.
I think it's kind of up to the other board members if you guys want to come in and help us figure
Or
it
if
out.
we do, then we have to warn the meeting if
Yes.
there's
If
more than
there's more
two.
than two of us,
Right.
yeah. So,
Board member and Allison's.
yeah,
not.
so it's just, at the moment, I'm the only board member that's in
And
that
then you
meeting.
bring it to us and we,
Yeah, make modifications.
okay. But
Yeah.
possibly Roger.
You know, when,
I was about to say.
Yeah.
If he gets on the board, I'd love to.
making a brash assumption that,
Yeah.
you put my name forward, when is the next, select board meeting, do you know?
I do not
Is
know.
it before your?
I
Um,
literally just had that up on my phone.
even if it is before 17th, it happened when I was appointed and when Laura was appointed that they waited until the meeting after that because they wanted to post it in their
Okay,
agenda and have
and the
people
agenda.
have enough time
Yep.
to look at it.
So next, the
So-
select board calendar says that there's a select board meeting on Tuesday, October 15th at 6:30.
Yeah,
And then they have
So it's
another one on Tuesday, October 29th from 6:30 to 7:30. That might be like a special meeting.
like the 29th meeting is when we'll vote on it
Yeah.
because
Okay.
they like to give time.
Sure.
And when is I mean, we're kind of going a little bit ahead right now, right? for the
Yeah.
budget, which is good. So
Well,
we can vote
yeah,
on it and.
Hope-
Last
We're
year, you
trying to have
started
it
looking at it
in-
in October,
Yeah,
finalize it with us by November because it had to be to the town meeting by
in
December
Yeah,
to be in the book for the
But if we
marketing.
have changes on it, things have to happen.
We have to have, I think last year, I believe Jody said December 1st was like our hard deadline to have it submitted to town.
it's over.
Right.
So I think if we have it ready to go for the November meeting to be voted on,
Mhm.
then if there's any issues, then
Yeah.
you can call a special meeting.
We need
Yeah.
to
So
get it done.
It'll be, I think it should be pretty easy next year. The
Well,
hardest
the
numbers for me is I don't
the
know.
unemployment thing and the health insurance things,
Yeah,
and those
yeah.
are on the agenda. I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Historically, how has the town been with respect to your budget? Are they,
Pretty easy.
they're not butchering it?
supportive.
Good.
It used to be that it was just included in the like bulk town budget and then they asked for it to be split off and voted on separately because it was a large amount of money. And I think they also wanted to know a little bit more about what's going on with the so we talked about, hopefully we're doing some strategic planning that at the next town meeting that when we, have the vote for our budget, then we can also talk about, what we've been doing and what kind of strategy we have coming.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments on that item? So we will keep moving forward with working on the budget. Next up is Allison's evaluation. I got emails from the other board members. I am going to do the little compilation of it today using previous evaluation as a guide so I can do it. So it's consistent. That way we have it working every year based on the same metrics and all that. And
Now, will this be your first evaluation?
yeah, she's been here a full year now.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, as of last week.
Wow.
And we have our executive board meeting scheduled the 17th. First, we're all gonna meet, talk about it, then we're gonna pull Allison in to go over it.
We'll need to need to warn that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that one still needs to be posted to
If you,
town.
if you send me an agenda, I'll send it to Jeanette. Laura,
Okay.
Lori. And
For that one, you mean?
Amy.
Do you warn because that's,
Executive
that's
meetings,
HR stuff, right?
Yes, you
It's
still
not
have to-
open.
We still warn that there's gonna be a meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Warn that
Okay.
there's gonna
That's a
be,
closed session.
exactly.
Oh, that's what I was,
Yeah, you
that's what I was
will
just gonna
be
ask, because
meeting-
that's not open to the public.
No.
It's an executive session.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah, you warn the meeting, you open the meeting, and then you go into executive session
Gotcha.
and then.
Yep. So that's the plan with that. Next item of old business is the strategic plan, which I believe it was Kathy Allison and
Yeah.
that worked on all that.
Yeah, we met a couple weeks ago. We set some, we talked about the process. We talked about the timing. We talked about who we would like to be on the planning team.
Now, who was the we that you were talking about?
Diane and Kathy.
Okay.
And I.
Kathy's missing today. She's-
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we talked about, somebody to hire as a moderator for the meeting. And yeah,
We're gonna have two community meetings, so we'll have a planning group that will get together hopefully this coming month.
yes.
And then we'll have a community meeting in November, and then another one in December, and then planning meetings in between, and then we'll pull it all together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the expected term for that plan? Is it for a 1 year, 5 year plan?
I think it's 4
Okay.
years is
Yeah.
what they generally recommend.
Yeah.
4 or 5. Yeah, so there's a core group with 5 to 7 people. On that board would be myself, Kendra, Ellis, Diane and Kathy, and then 2 community members.
Now, who, Kendra and Ellis?
I'm sorry, Kendra is our youth librarian
Okay,
and Ellis is our assistant librarian.
gotcha.
And then, so that's that core group that's responsible for like all of the planning and the writing of the plan. And then the community meeting, we invite like a wider range of people. And you aim for about 40 people to come to a meeting and you bribe them with food. to get them to come.
Work for me all the time.
So we need a budget for food and for the moderator, if the moderator asks any sort of.
Can I ask you a question? Have you found those 2 other community members?
I have not reached out to anybody. I'll be. Sorry,
No dying on company time.
I'm sorry.
That's time to do it.
I will be talking to one of them tomorrow. I'll be talking to Andrea tomorrow. Because we're going to Grace Cottage in the morning.
Because we should probably need to set that meeting. I put a message out to Kathy. She said when she get home, she'll know what her schedule is.
Yeah.
To put together. Which meeting. like
Yeah.
that. So do we want to vote on a budget? Do we need to vote on a budget or not? Or
I
do
think we do need to vote on the budget. Yeah.
Or vote to,
In my report, I said, I don't think it'll cost us more than $1,000 with food and moderator and supplies. So
so I make a.
you could make a motion to spend up to $1,000.
I'm gonna make a motion to spend up to for the strategic planning events that we're doing. I'll second that motion.
Favor?
I,
Opposed? Unanimously?
excited
Now,
about
do
it.
we know whether there was anybody on the call?
There's nobody.
It would
There is-
tell,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
you would know,
Yeah.
We do now have to record them
right?
and it's available on our website.
Gotcha.
for Posterity.
It's a random thing, but since we're doing both Ellis and Kendra, we talked about like if we have to have a meeting when the library is open, that one of them will dealt with
Yes.
and also that it won't be above their hours, that it can stay within what their schedule is. Can we make that happen?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's Ellis and Kendra both are below hours most of the time. So
Great, thanks.
one thing that I just remembered, the open trustee position, Kathy had said that last meeting, we didn't make an official motion to accept Susan's resignation.
We did.
I thought we did.
in
I
the
thought
end.
we did, but
Yeah,
Yeah, she got it.
it wasn't in the meeting minutes, so maybe it was
Okay, it
something
might have-
she missed in
it
the
happened
minutes.
at the like very
But I-
last second,
that's
right
what
before
I
we closed the
thought.
meeting.
I
Yeah,
was pretty sure we had done it, but I wasn't 100% on that after she had mentioned that we didn't, like, second guessing it,
yeah.
but
Should we
okay.
just,
Yeah, email came in like 2 minutes.
yeah,
Should we add that to our minutes for this week saying,
addendum?
yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Message
Question
my daughter,
about
take
the
Yeah.
positions. The election is only to be a trustee.
Yep.
How do you become treasurer? How, president, how would I become treasurer? How does that? Is
The board votes, yeah.
Board vote.
Yep. So when Cody was leaving, the board voted to make me the chair, and did we make you vice chair?
Yeah, I'm vice chair.
Yeah, you got voted as vice chair. Then if you come in and are willing and able to do the treasurer position, we would be very happy to have you as treasurer, which is actually our next point on the old business. And there's still, because it is very important, we get a treasurer on board.
By bus tomorrow, nobody can sign a check.
Exactly.
There's only one authorized signer?
The only person on the accounts, we had two, but we lost our treasurer, so.
Usually it's the chair and the treasurer.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. If there's only one now is what you meant. Okay,
Yeah, the
right.
thing is, at the
Yeah.
moment, because I'm the chair and we
Yeah.
don't have a treasurer,
Right.
I'm the only one
Sure.
at the moment.
But we would normally have two.
So that's why it's on there so that we keep it in our minds that
I
it
do
is
not want to
important.
be in that position, but should I be on it until we have someone so that we have the person can sign something? I mean, I'd rather, I don't want to, but
It's possible, but it's a lot of,
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of
to add
work.
a person
Exactly.
by the next meeting. take
and
it back off
then
and change
add
it.
another person and then remove
okay,
you.
so hopefully.
Just be
we'll-
careful.
Yeah.
Just be real careful.
Don't cross
Bring
the street.
everything in.
Don't even look.
Drinking water.
Just to make it clear,
Good.
if you guys want me, yes, I'm available for that. I mean, that's.
Okay.
really the
Very
reason
much
I
appreciate
go in the
that.
First place.
I am Team Roger right now.
So with that, oh yeah, we're gonna make it a motion again, even though we're.
Just to make sure. Yeah, we did it last
Yeah.
week, but
We already did it.
Should we make a motion to amend the minutes? That's where it's not on the minutes of last meeting.
Yeah, do.
So I'll make the motion to amend the minutes from the last meeting to add in the motion that was made to accept Susan's resignation.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
All opposed? All
All
right,
right.
passes unanimously.
let me know, let's come back again and we accept it and sign it again.
no, that just means that we can add that to the previous ones that go from draft to finalized.
And with that, we can move on to new business. First up is winter hours. Do we have a scheduled?
Yes, so when we had set the summer hours, we talked about,
We talked about.
yeah, the spring, winter slash spring hours would be, it would start when the time changes in November, the first weekend in November, and would go through to the next time change. And the only difference would be to take Monday and Tuesday, instead of going till 8 p.m., going until 6 p.m. We have been keeping track of how many people come in after 6 for the last couple of weeks. We had one person attend our movie yesterday, so that was very exciting at 6 o'clock.
All right.
And she actually said that 4 o'clock would work a lot better for her.
There you go.
And I think we've had a handful of people 6 o'clock
Okay.
in the last 2 days or in last.
Okay.
Feel slightly torn about it. I do get that. I'm also like, I want to make sure that we are available to the whole Dover community, and there's a lot of people that and get here earlier, or maybe don't even know, or maybe once it's summer's done, they're actually like more home and focused and would come into the library.
I think. I think we will not lose anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will be inconvenienced by us.
I just think with, as it gets darker earlier,
Yeah.
everyone settles in to home a little earlier.
Yeah,
And then at the time change, it will get darker even earlier. And so
Is this something that can be brought up in the community meetings for the strategic plan?
absolutely.
Oh, that would be
And if something you put on it.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was some input on that and people were interested in some.
People were interested, people said they were interested in it, and we did a lot to try to push it.
But
And
only in the summer, not in the. other times.
yeah. We're still offering programs after hours.
There,
Yeah, in the winter, we'll still continue to do that. But just staying open to have one person sit at the desk, it seems kind of small. You know, we're gonna burn oil, use electricity, have staff hours, and, you know, one person.
Now, when you say you still have activities after hours, what
Like
time?
programs, like we have craft nights and movies and.
Okay, but that you still need the library open. for
The
that,
library will be open
Okay.
for that, but
Then-
it's not
No staffing.
every single,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Oh,
Monday and
gotcha.
Tuesday, and it's usually either me or Kendra who's
Yeah.
doing it. So if it's
Gotcha.
me, you're
Yeah.
paying the extra for
You're free.
maybe. Um, so,
all after our
yeah,
So it'll be open till 6 on Mondays and Tuesdays.
yes. And that will still keep us above. When I took this job, you asked that we go to at least 40 hours. So we've been open 40 hours all summer long. And so this will just reduce us so we'll still be above 40.
Okay, that
Yeah,
sounds good.
reasonable.
And then I guess we'll see like strategic plan, or if people request it, then we could get it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can
One
always
thing I'd
modify it.
like to do too is push more Saturday attendance.
Mm.
because
Yeah.
Saturdays are very, very slow
Unless
Mm.
there's an event.
unless there's an event.
Yeah.
And all of those people who are like, oh, I don't get home from work until 6 o'clock. Well,
Yeah.
the library is open on Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you work Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, or
And
whenever.
we're open till 6 on 2 of those, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's not-
Do we think that with Saturdays, if we do a push towards the transient population of tourists during the winter, that would have more people coming in? Because,
It's a big ski day.
Yeah.
And say it
but I'm
was-
saying like if we could stay open, it like a little bit later on a
Yeah.
Saturday, because as you're done with the mountain, you're like, well, gonna go eat food. What do I do after
Yeah,
that?
Yeah.
even like
Like,
a
Open
12
liquor and
12 to
close
4,
later.
12 to
Yeah.
5 kind
Yeah,
of
like
thing.
an opera.
Yeah.
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 Sort of thing.
Yep.
That sounds so fancy.
I think that would-
Right, library.
I think that would make a big difference. You're right, that Saturdays are, a huge ski day, but a lot of
Yeah.
people are done by
And we
noonish.
open at 10, and
Yeah.
usually I'm like, well, I'm not gonna see anybody until noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with the
Unless
exception
it's
of the-
D&D day.
Yeah.
That seems me and Seffy, which, yeah, that's,
So overall,
Something
though,
like
you
that.
think the hours are working out?
Hours are working well, yeah. If anything, I would push Saturday back a little bit, but then, we have less time with our families on
Mhm.
Saturday, so it's
Right.
it's a double edged.
gonna move on to the hoopla budget now.
So I did, while I was doing all of the statistics this month, I looked up to see. We had 630 circulations on Hoopla this month, if you want to pass that around. I printed out a thing of year to date, how much we've paid for Hoopla.
Wasn't that like half a month before?
What?
Wasn't it like only 300 in last month? That's a big jump.
It's a big jump. We've been pushing it because it's a good way to get, like, we want an audiobook. Here's an audiobook. And we see if I can. Computer is still mad that I don't want to pay.
It was high too last November, it looks like.
Yeah, is there an
pretty high, but it's
extra,
gotten higher.
was there an extra copy of that?
Oh, I have.
The second one's not nearly as interesting as
The third one, that's where it's at.
I think it is trending upward
Mhm.
overall.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So
Holy cow,
$1,200 is a lot of money, and I did not budget that much for
Yes.
we're at 7,800 for the year to date, and I definitely didn't budget that much.
What
Have we
did you
heard from
budget?
Blackstone?
Yes.
What did you
So,
budget for that?
I'd have to pull up my budget. I think I budgeted 6,000. It would be from, this July. So, Joe Levy, who is, he's a Dover resident, so he's our rep for Blackstone. And I'll keep one so Diane doesn't try to hog them all.
I thought it was like 3 things for me to look at. I'm still impressed.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Now, how is Blackstone?
So Blackstone is a different format. So Hoopla, the good thing about Hoopla is that because it is a pay-per-use model, every publisher will allow their stuff to be circulated on Hoopla. Blackstone is not a pay-per-use model. It is a one fee a year model. And the difference between them is also that they are only audiobooks, whereas Hoopla does a little bit of everything: magazines, ebooks, comics, movies, TV shows. So Blackstone does only audiobooks, and they are not a pay-per-use model. So there are certain companies that will not let them use their titles, Random House being the biggest, because they want to make sure that anytime anybody reads their book, they get money. So there will be certain things that we'll never be able to get on Blackstone, right? However, we got a trial subscription for the library. Talked to Joe, and Kendra and Ellis and I all downloaded it and tried it out. And we were very impressed with the app. The usage for the app was very easy, very similar to Hoopla, and download the title. It looked very nice.
And works on iPhone, iPad,
Yes,
computer,
computer.
everything.
You can't download it onto a computer. You can download it onto your iPad, phone, whatever. But the computer, you can listen to it, but you can't download.
Interesting.
Just to stop people from pirating stuff that way. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but
Your loan or your borrow, if you borrow it still expires at some point in time and disappears from your device.
yes. So we were very impressed with the app. We really enjoyed it. And all three of us thought it would be a good addition to the library.
Because you enjoy the Hoopla. You guys are like, yeah.
We are constant.
So you know how to compare the
Yeah.
two and what works and.
Oh, this would be in addition to Hoopla, not a.
Addition to Hoopla. So Joe was able to get us a pretty good deal because we're a very small library and he likes us.
Is that just for the first year, or is it?
Nope, we can buy this we can pay, so it's $2,000 for the year with adult and children, or we can buy multiple years. So if we want to ensure we have that price for 3 years, we can give them $6,000 today and lock it in for 3 years. It's a newer thing. They have over 7,000 titles already. But I anticipate probably, them getting a lot more. So I would recommend doing this because, as you see, $2,000 is a fraction of what we're spending out.
Yeah.
And I think it would, if you look at
This
this,
is the cost per audiobook and Hoopla? Is there like, is it
It's a
variable
per
or is it?
download thing,
It
right?
varies.
Okay,
It
so
tends-
it's not like a
tends to be-
step price.
$99.
Yeah, it depends on what the title is and what the publishing company is and blah, blah, blah. Just like, you buy a hardcover book, it's either $30 or $32.50 or,
And it's mostly audiobooks that people are taking out.
that's what I was going to say. If you look at my report, on the Hoopla statistics, of the 630 downloads, 194 of them were audiobooks.
Wow.
That always tends to
Okay.
be the case. It's
Yep.
always mostly audiobooks. This
a
month
lot of
was a
people.
little
Yeah, I
bit
just saw that.
weird because 333 music downloads. I was like, I don't
Wow.
know.
Someone downloaded an entire album.
Yeah, I don't.
Numerous times.
Yeah, I don't know who's downloading that much music and what they're listening to. I assume I can find that out in the Hoopla user
Mhm.
surface. I just didn't have time.
At least not, at least anonymously, probably.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's attached to
Yeah.
it, a
Yeah.
barcode, but
So you would basically, in your newsletter would basically be pitching, if you want audio, try here first.
yes,
And
yeah,
if you can't find it there, then go to this one.
yeah,
And you can make a pitch of it, it helps the library economically. I don't know,
yeah, absolutely.
however you want to pitch it.
I actually had one person who came in last week and said to me, I just want to thank you so much for introducing me to Hoopla. I love it so much. I downloaded a whole bunch of books and listened to them. And I have to go home and download some more because it's almost the end of the month and I still have a couple left on my 10.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. We pay for every
Every
single
one of them.
one of them.
But-
And he
But
was like,
she's using
I'm
them.
so sorry. I didn't
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, you
Use them.
Yeah.
That's
them.
what we want you to
Want
do.
you to.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're gonna work on that. So hopefully. So the other thing that I would recommend in addition to buying Blackstone is eliminating our biblionics. Or I'm sorry, oh, wrong company. Our Boundless app.
Yes.
So
What's the cost on that?
the cost for Boundless is $500 a year, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
But the usage we had 13 people use it last
Yeah.
month, which was actually really high for usage. We usually have a lot less than that. You can also get almost every single title that we have on that subscription through the Palace app as well. And the Palace app is free to us, which is the only reason why we still have it.
Yeah, and that can really balance cover a quarter of the cost of the Blackstone.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with, I have more suggestions, but you might too.
Okay. We can also, if we wanted to limit, we can change the limit of checkouts per person to less than 10.
For Hoopla,
Yeah, drop down to 5 or
I
something.
think
Yes.
so.
And then we can also, sorry to interrupt you. We can also set a budget per month, how much we want to spend.
Yeah.
So if we want to say like, okay, if you go in on the 1st of October and download 10, you get them, but somebody else who waits and paces themselves might not get 10, but we can, so
Do you see a
I
lot of
think, I
that?
think we should limit
I don't know.
the number per person, and I do think we should limit it for the month as well.
Is
do.
there now when you can limit people, is it only to the audiobooks or is it to all of these other things?
As far
The
as I
amount
can
of
tell,
downloads, right?
as far as I
It's
can
in
tell,
the general
Yeah.
downloads.
general
Right now you
download.
get
Okay.
10 downloads.
So you can't be like, oh, you can download 10 audiobooks, but one comic,
Yeah, or
3
like
ebooks, or yeah. Okay.
5 pieces of music instead of 300. I don't understand
Yeah.
how that, I really want to look into it
I think
more.
we have
do
to
a
look,
deep
that looks like a
dive.
Yeah,
mistake to me, honestly.
I don't.
Because one
think it-
person can't download more than 10.
That's 34 people right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but I think
That's
the
at
real
least
key that,
34
that
people.
we don't know is how many people are actually using up their 10.
I mean, when you sign in.
I think I can find
Yeah,
out.
I would think so, yeah.
Should they?
I'm just
So
not
you
sure.
have to specifically sign in with your Dover Free Library.
To do that, yeah.
All of it is still up on the screen if you care.
Yes, yeah, no, I was actually doing it.
For
Okay.
that, yeah. So, I mean, I'm going through my bills today. We got all sorts of stuff. So I'm like, this looks like possibly incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, just even thinking about it, like, Even if I
So
were to
how does
download like.
Hoopla differ
selections,
from
what they
the
call
library's
it, which is like
perspective from like
4
Libby?
songs.
It's the same thing as Libby, it's the same style as well.
Right, yeah.
So you don't pay per use.
Oh,
So-
Libby, you don't pay per use.
Right,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But maybe.
Libby, we also talked about joining the Green Mountain Library Consortium earlier in the year, because they do have Libby. And I forget what the cost, it was gonna be like $600, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head for us to join GMLC so that we could get Libby. The downside of that one is because we share all of the titles that are in that with all the rest of the members of the consortium, you have to wait a really long
I was
time.
also gonna ask that about the
Oh,
black.
Blackstone does not have
Great.
a waiting period. So
No.
that gives them a bump up. If you like, so in Libby, it's, if I want to read, Gone with the Wind, they have one copy of Gone with the Wind.
Oh.
And if Laura's reading Gone with the
Right.
Wind, I have to wait till Laura's done, so I can read it.
Yep.
In Blackstone, everybody can read Gone with the Wind at the same
I
time,
love that.
Yep, that's
because
right.
I hate waiting.
Yeah, certainly the book club people will be really hot on that.
Yes, and there is no limit. There's, you can download, there's a limit on how many you can download at one time. But there, you can, if you return them, then you can check out more and download them.
That's
So,
beautiful. It's a lot like the unlimited sort of
Yeah.
plan where you can have like a certain amount of books, but things like 10, and then once you get the 10, if you want to download another one, you have to get rid of the ones you already downloaded.
exactly, it's the same thing.
Ask you a question.
Mhm.
This number of the statistics, that's for the month of
September.
September. So do we have another giant bill coming? Or is that for
That we will have this $1,200 for, it's
the one that's here that says 1216?
Yes.
Yeah, I would look into that music. It's absurd.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Just wondering if like people from out of town that came, just using music. I don't know.
It's strange. So can you do that? Or do you want one of us to do that?
So according to this, we have 199 unique patrons.
113 of which were new.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Define new though, like new this year to date. So if you go to the top, right there, patrons for see, oh, wow.
That's a lot of people.
Huge jump in September.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something happened here.
44 patrons.
Someone's scamming.
Yeah, I
I was
was
surprised that they're not alerted to that already
Yeah, there's
themselves.
a huge dump all of a sudden.
You didn't do any like kind of push marketing wise for
We
that,
don't even
right?
have that many people. I mean, how many people do we have for library cards?
More than that. I don't know how many off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We're researching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering because I
Huh.
mean there's Dovers all over the country. If maybe there's another Dover.
Can I get you
that's-
more water or something? Would you like?
Okay.
All right, so let's look at finding
Yeah.
out.
I'll do a deep dive. That's
Yeah.
a lot of new people.
And it's interesting that all those new people, that there was a jump in the music specifically instead of everything else. So
Number and the music costs less than the books too. Like books are like $2.99 at least, and music is like 99 cents, I think. From when I looked it
Yeah.
up.
is that per song though or per album?
That's a great question.
Because if because just looking at the app real quick, it looks like you can use one of your things to download an entire album
Mhm.
versus individual songs. And so like I was saying, like that just
So 10
Pop 'em.
albums times
Yeah.
10 songs.
well, even the album, like the Taylor Swift album I was just looking at, that's 25 songs.
Right.
You hit download on that, download that entire album for one of your downloads. And each song's
And but
$1.
it should be
So-
cut,
It's
it should be cut up
$25.
per song, but it's maybe not.
maybe not, maybe they charge it as an album. So let's,
Right.
Do we know if the music counts per song or if that music? Yeah.
And-
I will find
and we
out.
haven't had that kind of numbers for
No.
music
Yeah.
at all, so.
Well, there's one that was
So-
that had 95 and one before that was 87, but that when you had the
Yeah.
by month on the screens, we had a couple of big ones, but not certainly not to the 113.
Our old entire
Right, I'll find out.
Okay.
But I still think we should individual do Blackstone in addition
yeah.
to everything.
Yep.
We don't have,
so,
do we have to vote on that or not?
I
Think-
think so because it's budgetary. It's, it's another $2,000 we're gonna be choosing to spend.
Right, so the plan, you think the best plan would be to add that? It looks amazing. Thank you for doing that research. It looks like a great
What about-
option.
do we have to vote on getting rid of Boundless? Because if
Yeah,
we,
probably
yeah,
because it's a money thing.
so could I make a motion to vote to remove Boundless so that we can get that $500 a year and put that towards the Blackstone?
That could be all one thing. We could vote to.
Yeah.
Vote to add Blackstone to our services and to remove.
Yeah, because
Don't want to
if
limit.
you're saying that you want to put the 500 to Blackstone in that first, what you just said, you also have to include that we're getting Blackstone.
Yes, yes.
And I'm torn, like, I think this is a great price, but we haven't really had a full experience with it to sign up for multiple years,
That's-
but.
I was questionable about that too. Like it'd be nice to lock in that price for multiple years, but we don't know if it's gonna be successful for us or
Maybe
not.
we try it for a while and put it on the agenda and like. Ones too. Or just
Yeah.
see how it goes. And maybe she can keep us up to date on that.
Well, I don't know. The trial that they have, how many people can use it? Is it just a small group that?
Of what she's
Mhm.
doing right now. I mean, I think if they've been using it and they're happy with it, we need to downsize from the hoops. It's too much, and it seems like
Mm.
people do use it, so it's a great option for replacing it. I definitely would like to limit it down to. I think. I'd like to limit it down to maybe 5.
Especially if we are getting the Blackstone, I think dropping it down to 5 isn't too drastic because
Yeah.
all those audiobooks have
And then
alternatives
encourage
now.
people to use the Blackstone. I
Exactly.
do think we should set a budget as well. Because it can just, we're just getting going with it right now. I did a little research after the last meeting because I was kind of concerned about it. And there are a lot of libraries going through this too, where they're just like, they either set, limited the numbers and they set a monthly budget. Some of them got rid of it too. But we like the idea that this is a way that people maybe who can't come during the day are using the library, and that's great. So,
Yeah, I think Joe told me that one of the larger libraries, I can't remember if he said Brooks or in Burlington or what, they got rid of Hoopla and switched to Blackstone exclusively.
Well,
So I'll make a motion
I mean, could
to
we do that? Could
drop
we just
the
go to
Hoopla
Blackstone?
downloads down to 5.
I think if we did that, we'd probably have people up. I mean,
I do
But you
ebooks,
don't know, because maybe you could
Well,
do everything
but
you're
I-
looking at on Blackstone.
but I can't because I do ebooks. I don't do
Yeah.
audio. And Blackstone is only audiobooks.
Yeah.
So, I don't, I mean, I'm
Can we
all,
get ebooks at your library loan?
no. No, ebooks are very proprietary. You can get them through Palace. So that would be another way to get them. We can also buy individual titles in Palace and download them onto it. So it's not just what exists. We can, as a library, we can buy that and have.
So maybe some people like, Palace and availability that maybe you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Do you know about Palace?
Well, I did. I used it a couple of times, but I wasn't finding, maybe I wasn't using it properly. I wasn't finding the books I was looking for necessarily on there.
Yeah, Palace has issues of its own. It's a
Yeah.
little more open source than some of the other things. So that's a difference.
Does,
Interesting, there's only 49 ebooks and 194 audiobooks.
We don't.
No,
read those
interesting.
here.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I break down, like in my individual statistics, I break down like Palace and Boundless.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, the Palace, that was audio, and the Boundless, it was 12 audio versus 1
Hmm.
ebook.
Well, interesting.
So what do you think about setting some limits for Hoopla?
I don't know if I would jump down to 5 to start. I would go maybe 7 and see what happens, and let me investigate
Hmm.
what is going
Yeah,
on
see
with all of those new-
what the real activity is.
Yeah,
We set a monthly budget though,
yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
and that way we'll just like, we won't go over our budget, you know?
Is
Yeah.
that something that like we put into Hoopla and then once we hit that, it won't let anybody else take anything else out?
Mhm.
It's good. 'Cause I don't
I
want
know
to
you
like,
can set daily ones too, so,
Oh, you,
but
okay, I didn't realize that.
I think so. You know, I was looking at it daily, monthly, and you can limit. You can't limit what they're taking out, but you can limit the number.
I know, and that's very annoying to me, because I would like to be able to do, exactly, yeah.
since we're a library.
I would let you listen to
Yeah.
6,000 audiobooks or read,
Yeah.
6,000 ebooks, but you really need to watch 6,000 movies.
Now with the Blackstone, is it strictly audio books, not movies, music, television?
Just audiobooks.
So if we go to that and we get the $2,000
Mhm.
and we have Palace for free, we got rid of Boundless. But we're still just looking like, what's our overall budget? What do you think the Hoopla budget monthly should be?
So I just really quickly ran an average on it, super fast, eliminating that high number and low number, and just an average of roughly like $661. I think if we round that up to like 675 or 700 a month, I think that might be
Maybe even less than that if we
if we're lowering,
if we've
if we lower the
encouraged the
number.
push to audio
yeah.
on the other one, maybe we can cut that to $500 a
Because
month.
if it was like how much for the year was if we did it like what we've been doing, which I think is high,
Yeah, 500
Yeah.
500 a month would be 6,000 for the year.
Yeah.
So if we have 2,000, which should cover quite a bit of it, then I don't know. I think
Yeah.
the budget should be lower
Yeah.
than 500. I think it.
Yeah.
I think people
If
should be
we-
encouraged to use.
If we
this
cut down the
new
number to
system.
7, ability to take out 7, and then cut down that monthly budget to 500, 600, somewhere in that range, I think that would be a fair.
So I'll just tell you, I
Yeah.
budgeted $6,000
Yeah.
for Hoopla. So
Okay.
better.
500 a month would be the
6,000.
Yeah.
But now we're also adding
Yeah.
Blackstone, so we need to drop it.
Hmm.
Because we can control that right now, so that
Yeah.
it fits in our budget,
Yes.
and we could just be like, people used it so much that it's exceeding our budget, so we have to
Yeah.
drop it down,
Yep.
for the rest of.
And then frankly,
When we make
if
the budget for 2025.
if with that and with Boundless and you're tracking the statistics on all of them, if we find out that movies become, movies or music especially become 80% of the usage of Hoopla, then thinking about dumping it is a whole different
Yes,
equation.
We have other
Different
I think
equation.
That's the case.
So should we make 3 different motions then? One to drop Boundless to get that $500, and then second to budget Hoopla, and then a third to add Blackstone. Should we make 3 different motions?
That makes sense, yeah.
We
Okay,
just have to decide what we're budgeting the Hoopla to.
so let's,
I think if we keep it at 5, we're going over our
It
budget.
would be over budget because we're already at.
So I
this
think
step.
But we would already be,
Yes.
but at budgeting it at 500, when we say budgeting, we're really talking about limiting it to
Mhm.
500.
Yeah.
That's already taking it down from what we've got, which hopefully the Blackstone offsets. How much lower, $450? I wouldn't, well, I don't have, I'm sorry, I should be. But my thoughts would be not to go much lower than 450. But again, the statistics are going to prove it out.
Yeah. And
If
I think,
people, by the 15th of the month are trying to download and can't download anymore, that's gonna mean that we've got an issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of hoopla is PR too. Like people really, really like hoopla. There's
Yeah.
a lot of like, I said something to Ashna.
But they don't
once.
understand. They don't know
No,
it's
no,
Right.
they don't.
Oh, absolutely.
But I said something to
don't.
Ashna once about like, like, we're gonna change up online services, and she goes, "Oh, I think if you if you get rid of hoopla, you'll have a revolt." And I said, I completely agree. And so I think some of that we have to look at, like
Yeah.
good feelings.
We also have to look at that and like, yeah, I'm sorry. Interrupt you.
No, but I totally think it's okay to limit it. We're thinking like $1,500, right? So if I said 6,000, I feel like I need to look at what's going on with all those new patrons
Yeah.
before we set hard and fast
So
budget.
let's maybe
And there's like
table that
other
for
libraries
next
don't
month.
have it. Wilmington doesn't have it.
No.
So are all those people here? And it's nice.
Well, they
to-
have,
Saying,
they have
maybe
library
look at
cards,
it,
too.
We have to have
owners
library cards. Yeah.
Are getting.
Yeah.
Does Wilmington still have Libby?
no,
Oh,
I mean, it's
I didn't realize
it's great to
that.
have the library use.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I don't know. I
How about
just
we
think
tell-
we have to have it on our radar.
How about we table that till next month so we can figure out what's going on with all that music downloads and all
I think we
that.
should still drop the limit down to 7.
I think doing one or the other, either budget or limit. Just
Oh,
don't do
7, oh,
both.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't do both at once, just because I feel like,
And we may find that impacts two people, that there are two people that are doing all the big music downloads.
Yeah.
And most people, certainly if you're doing, ebooks, you're probably not going through
Yeah.
10 a month.
I think if you look at the statistics, music was just one random month. That was just one thing. The numbers have been high. I mean, I'm
Okay.
looking at 684, 723, 759, 817.
yeah.
We're not budgeted for that.
Right.
We've already exceeded it.
Yep.
So we need to drop the number down.
Yeah.
So I think we should have a limit of 500 a month max. And I think the number per patron should at least go down to 7. And if it doesn't, like, people won't be interested in trying to use that other service because they're just gonna go right to Hoopla first because it's easy. But once they don't, you've shared that with me with other people that they've experienced, okay, I used it up, I'm gonna have to use this other service now. They use it
Yeah.
and they found it. It's a little bit harder to use. It's just not in their general, but that's what I think.
I just think we should do one or the other, either the money or the item budget, not both all at once until we figure out what's going on with.
I think the music is its own little thing. That bumped it to 1,200. It's insane.
But
But
we also
otherwise,
don't know
we're at-
what's going on with this one. Because right now we are 8 days into the month and we're at 223, which seems considerably high being only 8 days into the month. So that could be happening again. So that's what I'm saying. If we
But
limit
if you
it,
look back here at these months, these are already higher than what she budgeted for.
yes, yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying. If we drop it down just to 7 or 500, do you pick one or the
Mhm.
other?
I vote for both. Yes, we put up. I think we should. I think that it's just very high. And I think, we have how many more months within this
Yeah.
budget?
Hypothetically speaking, if I were the treasurer, I would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Do we want to do them as separate motions? Then we can decide if we want to do both or just one or the other.
And if people are outraged by it, just tell them that the budget went over. And, we're looking at the new budget for next year. And, we have this
Yep.
other service that we've added on.
It's
So-
best to be fiscally responsible for the library.
And again,
Since we're already over budget,
marketing it will be a key,
we have
will be a key
to-
factor.
we have to take that into account.
Like such a meanie, but I'm
You-
like, I don't know. I mean, still, we used to be able to, with this new service being added to it, that you can get as many as you want, right?
Yep.
As
Yeah.
many as you
Yeah.
want on that.
People to use them.
Yeah.
Allison, do you feel like there would be an impact to the library patrons or the view of the library in general from like a PR standpoint if we were to make this motion? Do you feel like it would be a negative to everyone, or do you feel like it would be a very select group? That's
Select group,
okay.
yeah.
My concern is just like seeing it all of a sudden, like everyone's
But
like,
it would be
hell with this
invisible
library.
to everybody else.
Yep,
Yes.
most people
The
wouldn't
only
know it happened.
people who would see it at all. I mean, it's not like we're going to announce we're
yeah,
doing a $500
And we
and a
have
seven.
something to replace it, which most of the books should be
Yeah.
on, you think?
they only have over
7,000
7,000
titles?
titles,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
I mean that's a decent amount, but it's not a lot. Are they tend to be newer titles or older
this
titles?
is a brand new platform.
Okay.
So I have seen a lot of newer titles.
Okay.
I was impressed. I don't,
And I think we could probably expect
right,
that number to
right.
grow
How many
because they're
books
so
are
new,
there?
they're gonna be signing contracts with other publishers and
Yeah.
I expect that number to grow titles.
If you don't think there's going to be an impact to the general patronage to the library,
Mhm.
I would be okay with that. My concern is just that.
Maybe we just do the monthly, because that would be keeping it within
That's fine.
and give people a heads up. Or don't give them a heads up. I mean, hopefully people will all get. I don't know, but then some people, if we have a budget of 500, you're gonna have some people that are gonna get cut off.
Yep.
And I won't
Anybody who-
understand it.
Anybody who waited till later in the month to download something is gonna be able to look.
Maybe, we probably need to make an announcement, like in our newsletter, maybe at the front desk to give
I can
people a
do that.
heads up that, that Hoopla has been incredibly popular and we didn't foresee it being this popular, so we didn't budget for it. So we have to try to make amends where we can, and we're relooking at it for the new budget. Right?
Yeah.
Following
I
there.
think that's definitely the way to go. Just
And I think this is also something that can be brought up in usually planned community meetings to see how people feel about people being cut back, because I think we're definitely gonna cut back, whether it be the budget or the quantity of downloads. I think we've all agreed on that something's
Yes.
gonna change.
Yes.
To be a
Yeah.
little-
So there is gonna be a limit,
So what
so.
you
community
see in
meetings
terms of statistics
Just that limit,
is gonna tell a lot.
I think we gotta do the monthly one, because
Yes.
otherwise you could see another $1,200 happen.
Yep.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we can't-
100%.
we can't-
It's like, that wasn't even the one, I
Yeah.
mean, the last one we talked about was like 500, so.
We definitely
that-
can't allow that to happen again. Not with it not being budgeted.
So if I can mention, so you're deciding whether to do $500 per month or limit how much each person can do, but if one person goes on there and does $500 damage, then it blocks it for everybody for the rest of the month.
Well, they can't do
So-
$500 damage.
They can only do
They're
10.
supposed to only do 10.
Yeah, they get 10 downloads.
Should we go to,
Just with that odd spike, I'm looking at it going, man, if that was one person,
Yeah,
then
like,
that blocks it for everybody.
is it that bad to go down to
it's
5,
not allowed to be.
books,
one
if you
person.
knew
That
you were
one
gonna
person can
be
only do 10 downloads.
limited to 5? Is that
I don't,
hard with supplemented with the other services?
Is there a way to look at like the average that people take out?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay.
Allison,
Well, while she's trying to figure that out, I'd like to make a motion to drop Boundless.
second that?
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously.
All right, and then I'd also like to make a motion to add Blackstone.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, you got 2 out of 3 taken care
All
of.
right.
What if we set it to $500 monthly, and what does that leave at us if we're doing that plus? And then limit of 6, that would be 2 a week for people. No, it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
sorry, that would be 8.
8 would be too late,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, 8 would
think
be
we
a nice
start with
round 2
8.
a week. I mean, I hadn't thought of it in those terms, but
But as far as.
2 a week is 8 for the month. 7 or 8.
Lower, but
We can start with 8 and then see how that impacts everyone. And then we can always next month come back and address that. And then if we need to move it down to 7, 6, 5,
Yep.
whatever, we can go from there. But I think maybe doing it in like a small little baby step just to see how that impact.
I guess, but I'm like, I don't know if people will go ahead and actually use the other service if we don't limit them.
So I'll
I
tell,
think-
I'm
Yes.
looking right now at the users and I am seeing that. So you're supposed to have a library card to be able to get into our
Mhm.
account. And there are people whose library card numbers are
Not ours.
not ours.
Hmm.
And
Like somebody has 1990 or 296. Like these are not our page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
oh my God.
Hmm.
So Hoopla needs to be contacted about this because
Yeah.
it's clearly an
Yeah.
issue
And
on
how
their
long
end
has
for
this been?
allowing
Yeah.
people to sign in under Dover Library with fake numbers.
Yeah. This one's from February.
Oh, so they need to audit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
There's 7
interesting.
pages of users. So
Yeah. Which is
Well,
crazy
that's
for our
interesting. If
Yeah.
some of those users are bumping up our numbers, which presumably they would be,
are.
And-
Yeah.
then we're paying for usage by non-library card holders.
there's there's a lot of email addresses for AOD charter.
Hmm.
AOD. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is there a human being at Hoopla that you're able to talk to, or?
Yeah, they
Okay.
yeah, AOD
Okay.
Charter School Academy of Dover in Dover, Delaware.
Aha.
So
Eureka.
there we go. They're connecting to the wrong library.
Yep.
So Academy of Dover Charter School is a
Yep,
charter
Dover,
school.
Delaware.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I will after the meeting. I'll call and find
And
out.
that kind of makes sense why they're downloading music.
So then maybe, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So maybe because now we're finding out that possibly we are not spending all this money.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we are spending it.
Well, we're spending it, but we make
Well,
it.
no, I know we're spending it.
Right,
I'm saying
yeah.
it's not our users.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your library does not have any patron policy definitions.
We still have to set a limit because we're already over.
Yeah.
So let's maybe set the $500 a month budget, contact Hoopla. And then we can figure out, get an audit done and figure out what are our,
With us dropping the budget, I think we still have to modify the monthly download because that way, not just the people who are lucky enough to download at the beginning of the month
Mm.
get
Yeah.
stuff, and the people at the end of the month are screwed.
Yeah.
It will still be that way though. If we
Yeah.
set a monthly
But
one,
we
if
can
someone does
mitigate it
their
a little bit.
meet in the beginning, then.
Yeah, you have to.
And we've got what, 21 days for any download? That, how long we can hold a download?
No, Hoopla, everything is different. So it's
We're already at 223 for the month.
Yeah.
So
so let's just say 7 checkouts, $500, and then next month I'll come back and I'll say
that sounds
we
great.
were able to eliminate blah blah blah.
We've got this much money
and-
coming back to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
let's do that.
Yeah,
I
and then we can always re-examine it next month and we can move on.
I make a motion that we limit the Hoopla monthly budget to $500 and the patron number to 7 monthly downloads.
I'll second that. Favor?
And then
Opposed?
I've
Allison,
got to call them.
you'll do your research.
Yeah.
To
They
do.
won't let me do it online.
If
Thank
there
you for
needs to
pulling that
be,
up for us if we were able
Yeah.
to figure that
and if
out.
that's something you were just talking about, the library profile or you,
Yeah.
if there's something that
Spending money
we need
everywhere.
to put in
Yeah,
to keep the non,
that's what I
Yeah.
think. I think they never set it up with.
Is that there just making a mistake and not clicking the right over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I
Yep.
can see Dover,
No.
Delaware. It's a K to 8
Mhm.
school. I can totally see some like, someone like my daughter just being like, oh, Dover.
Yep.
And being like, oh. Wrong Dover.
and
Telling all their
the
friends.
fact that it would
Yep.
let you in, that just sounds weird. Sounds like a setup issue,
But it
Yeah,
was. Hey,
maybe a long-standing setup issue, but.
But you said like dating back to
Yeah.
February.
on that note, though, I do think limits are good.
Yeah.
And if-
And I think that the new service sounds like it sounds, you think it's still worth it?
yes,
Even.
yeah,
find out that our
absolutely.
legal services.
So this is
I
very
think that's
small.
I think it's a good way to get a download. Like
just super
Yeah.
interesting, just because we're talking about that Dover school, just looking at these numbers. So you said the first time you noticed an AOD email was in February.
Yeah, I can't, it won't let me sort it by date.
Yeah,
I like.
but if you look at February, starting from February, March, April, May, the numbers were definitely creeping up.
Yep.
And then when school lets out around June, July, August, numbers are back down.
Yep.
And then
And then in
September.
September, it skyrocketed again.
Kid.
All right, I think we can move on to the next item on the agenda, the art wall. Is something you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to talk
Yeah.
about it. I love our art world and I'd like to see more done. I might need to just step into helping to do that. I'd love to see new artwork up here, maybe every couple of months. This artwork has been beautiful. Time for it to come down.
Yes.
And we have another person who's interested in bringing their artwork in here. And then we'll probably have some school stuff related to the Santa visit that will be coming up pretty fast too. So actually, Allison, we should probably talk about that to see how much time
Yeah,
artwork could be up for, because we do the Santa thing, which is at
yeah, we would take
November
it,
now.
yeah,
So,
we would take it down that week and then,
right, so she'd have some time to have it up. But one of the things was interested in trying to figure out, like, repainting the wall, having a different system for, we kind of need to do some research on, it's art lighting. We have the lighting.
yeah.
It's just not on.
It's just not
on. But it's really about hanging the artwork and making it easier.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Now you can really see the.
And you also mentioned, Allison also mentioned possibly a shelf that's along there as well, so that it would fold down or fold up, so you could have like different types of artwork.
Okay.
Like it would idea. So I guess we need to do a little bit of research on that and then put budget together. So, because in the past they had, and you said we might still have it, these like clips that went on the top with hanging wires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see one of them hanging on the ceiling now.
Yep.
So maybe we need to bring that back for now, or.
Well, especially if you're thinking about putting a shelf, you don't want a shelf that head level from these seats if people are using.
We
these
want to
seats.
get rid of a lot of these.
Oh, okay.
But then also you said the shelving could be something that would be up or could go down.
Yeah, it could fold.
So if we don't have the type of artwork that goes on a shelf, then
You see you creeping, Kendra.
Ken was looking to see if we're gonna be.
I guess we just need to maybe push that to next month and do some research on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, when I talk to the new painter, I will ask about.
That's one thing I was about to mention. If we're gonna add a shelf or something like that.
Yeah,
Should do that after the painting happens, because that just adds one more.
And also
thing
just,
in a
and
way.
I don't really know what type of systems are good for hanging art that makes it easy for people. I mean, the easiest is.
Oh, I could've-
Yeah.
Mail in and.
I
The
could
picture
have
would
asked
go for it.
Jeanette when she was here if she had any ideas. They were just here looking at very exciting. They were looking at the well and the pipes in the building to connect us to the new well, so we can have drinking water.
Ooh.
Hooray, yeah.
Now, have you found, I saw on your agenda, have you found a new painter?
I have somebody coming in this week.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Jody also gave me a card for somebody she used.
Okay. If you
Give
need,
someone money
if
for
neither
it.
of those work out,
Yeah.
you need another one, let me know. I've got guy that we've used.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Good.
I'll take any advice.
Yeah, yeah, send them over.
Next on the agenda, we have policy review. So that was something that was brought up, that it would be good to, throughout the year, review our policies, make sure we're up to date, and that way it's not just one lump thing we gotta deal with all at once, and I'd love that idea. Do you have a list of all of our policies? Then we can get like a breakdown.
I don't, Jody used to have
Okay.
one and get
I
it.
will reach out to her.
However,
Oh.
a couple of months ago, we discussed the lending policy and there just was a couple of like sentences that needed to be changed. So that it was a little more explanatory about the deposit for out of towners. And then we never approved it after that. So I have printed out the lending policy with the changes and hopefully, we can approve it now, so I can put it on the website. So when somebody says, oh, your website says this, I can stop saying it's not right. Which is.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I hate having to say that.
And where is that, the change that you made?
So the changes were in the third paragraph under library cards.
Okay.
The wording was just a little awkward about when people would get their deposit back. So if you want to read it, Roman, okay.
I'm also gonna forward you, I'm taking a screenshot of the policies that we need to review, and I'm sure which ones we already did and which ones are coming up, but I have the whole list that was sent to you.
Does that list have, is that like a list of all of our policies?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there, you have a count? Then we can decide how to divide up, like two a month, one a month, or two every other month.
So when you say the deposit will be forfeit by the user after one of the cards, 1 year of the card's creation date,
Yes.
what are we saying?
We're gonna keep their $20 if they don't.
We're gonna keep
it back within a year.
Okay,
That's what I
Yeah,
want you to
yeah,
have. Okay,
okay.
good. It actually works.
It kind of cuts off the sides then. So it just has that part, but I can,
Hold on. Do it again. I went too far down.
do you have to pay for every interlibrary loan that you get?
No.
Oh,
We pay for the shipping for things that are out of our courier service, but anything that goes to the courier's free.
But we pay a certain amount per month, and we're paying a higher amount, so we get it 2 times a week. And, but we also are getting some grants that Allison has applied for that.
Yes, we get a grant for the courier.
Like, we increased that too, so I'm like, people can get books and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're
I
really
remember
increasing these programs.
the numbers went up once we increased it to twice a week,
It's
like the usage of it.
let's see, so this is that's my budget.
A non-cut off one. Well, great, our hot water is great. My husband,
That's always nice.
I was like, there's no hot water.
Water.
So he's like, oh.
We just had they're working, and when I left my house today, they're working on our electricity. Because apparently the connection to our house is 70 years old. And
oh, we dealt with that earlier
Upgraded.
this year.
What?
We dealt with that earlier this year. Oh my gosh.
We've had some like weird outages.
Yeah, we
Hmm.
were too, and
It's weird.
they were like, oh, by the way, if you hadn't fixed this, your house might have burned down. And we
Yeah.
were like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
My
Yeah.
favorite.
Love this. Love this for me.
Somebody just asked me a question about something statistic.
Is this one?
It was, if you had the number of policies. So we had,
No, I know, I don't have
that way we could decide how many. a
Second,
month
and then I
to review.
swapped him over this.
I was going to make
Oh,
our ILLs are 74. We sent out 70.
oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, no,
Numbers
we
went up once we
requested 70.
cost. Once
Yeah.
we went up to 2 a week, numbers
Yeah.
definitely went up. right?
Oh, we went from like 5,
Yeah.
like 70, yeah.
You guys make any decisions on the green policy?
No decisions were made. Nothing was done in your absence, Carol.
Now, Searsburg,
Yeah, you could.
Searsburg is not among the towns that,
They are. Are they not written down there?
No, no.
I do not see
Oh,
them.
Jesus. Okay, well, in your minds, add Sears and I'll.
Okay. I mean, it shares a zip code with Wilmington, but it's technically another town. It just doesn't have anything. Fire, police,
Nothing.
nothing.
schools.
In 2010
So I'll
census,
make a
there were
motion
109
to,
people in the town.
Make a motion to adopt the lending policy with Searsburg gonna be added.
Searsburg will be added as soon as I can
Second that.
find the folder. Yeah.
All in-
Okay, well, as soon as I get to my other computer where it allows me to actually use Microsoft Office correctly. Here's
For the ERG or URG?
URG.
I was gonna say you lived there.
Yeah.
Answer.
What are we changing? The fact that they have a deposit and then it's given back to them?
The wording.
Yeah, it was
modified
just
a
the
little.
wording
Just
that,
so people wasn't clear that after a year they weren't going to get the $20 back.
Do we agree with this?
yes, that's what we changed it
That's what we
to
did.
at the
Agreed
last.
upon.
Forfeited should be right. Did you guys already say that?
So it will be
Deposit will be
returned to,
forfeited.
Okay,
returned to the library user within the first year. Is that what we're saying?
yes,
Okay. The deposit should be returned to the library user during the first year. That basically, if they're closing their account.
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
They want to turn in their
Gotcha.
library card.
Otherwise, we keep,
Yeah, that's not clear that you're returning if they're turning in the library card within the year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can alter it again.
It's good minus forfeited.
Yes, in Searsburg. If I
Library.
change it to say the, um, the deposit shall be returned to the library user, like upon
Upon,
closing account,
yep, upon closing the account within the year of,
as long as there's no outstanding.
Right.
So, to return to library. Here. Yep,
Okay.
yep, I already,
Right.
now, why do we even have the provision of giving them their money back within the year?
because at the last meeting, I said, last time we talked about this, I said, we'll charge them $20. Everybody said, no, don't charge. them."
Okay,
There was a lot of there was
Okay.
some pushback from
okay.
certain board members because of the wording in our name of Dover Free Library.
Ah,
So they did not like the idea of us being free library and charging people. So the option of getting your money back was agreed upon. So that
Gotcha.
we are a free library.
thank you.
Very good way.
I just took a screenshot and emailed it to you guys of the policies to review. So,
I got motion and second.
No, I threw the motion in, but there was never agree.
for this one?
Yeah.
I second.
Okay.
But I guess now we need to modify the motion because I did not have the forfeited it put into that. And the other modification you just made.
Yes, and the closure of their, with the closure of their account. In Searsburg.
We can make a new motion now to accept the lending policy with the being that we're gonna add Searsburg, change forfeit to forfeited, and add in that on the user's account being closed, they will, and having no outstanding charges, they'll get their
I will second.
all in favor,
I,
opposed. All right, passes unanimously. So,
there's one policy that we did. Great.
And we just did a couple we did the behavioral policy and we did, or I'm sorry, the code of conduct policy
Mhm.
and unattended,
or-
Uh,
or is it people that forget what the exact word is.
behavioral and unattended vulnerable person.
Vulnerable
policy.
person, that was the
All right, so We're three. We got three down for the year.
I feel like we did others this year too. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think. we
Yeah,
did do
I
them.
just didn't write them, so I don't have. them
Right.
saved in my-
Like we had it listed in our mission statement, so.
We didn't talk.
That's
So we're going to talk about that with strategic planning.
Personnel, town, state holiday closings. I feel like we did talk about
We
that.
did that passed in January.
But I mean, we,
Might-
I think we
You're-
had our own discussions during the trustee meetings. These are policies.
Yes.
You're the only board member here that was here at that time.
Right, and Kathy, but she's not here right now.
Yeah.
I was looking at the list I had, like trustees bylaws was in April, hours in May, materials in June. We probably did not do materials.
No, but we do need to go over the materials.
So here's to work on materials. Confidentiality.
Those are for your next.
Yeah, well, we don't want to, there's a lot, but displays and exhibits. We had talked about possibly programming policy, which we don't have, but some libraries do have
well,
a
yeah,
programming, so I think we should add it. That would be a new one that we have to create. Plan circulation overdue policy. These are like ones that were question marks if we should
Yeah.
do. Interlibrary loan policy, museum pass. See. So those are all on the list. I just emailed.
Okay.
So you have it. So we should maybe come up with a new calendar going over policies, and
Mhm.
if there's any more that you think should be.
Yeah, I honestly haven't I found a folder, a binder with all of the policies on it. And I haven't sat down and read each individual one.
So maybe,
So
we should, I mean, we're not gonna do it this meeting, but, well, we did that
we
once.
got this one. Yeah.
We take a look at our policies, which I think are on our website.
Some of them,
Some of them,
Yeah.
okay.
the older ones, the old version of like it was all one, it was written in one document as one like
Oh, wow.
policy thing, and it was very
Not user friendly.
yes, it needs to be
So we
updated.
Long.
yeah, we need to update the whole thing, really.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I will make sure that
Just-
the new policies are on the website, and then
so should we pick, I mean, we have a lot going on right now with the budget. And-
strategic planning, maybe in January, start.
Okay,
Start doing one a month.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that
It's a good
sounds
way to-
really good. Yeah, because we have so a lot going on, so. January, get on the agenda, overhaul. Policy page. Website and. I mean, we,
Want to just pick one for January or,
or two,
yeah,
um. Sure, let's do,
I would like to do materials.
cheers.
yeah, that was supposed to be June,
That's kind of a bigger one. That might be a
Yeah.
solo
and do we have
project.
one?
Yeah, I think that is a big one because
You have, yes, because you also have like your challenges
Mm.
form that you want people to fill out if they challenge a book. So,
Yeah. that's why I think I
Yeah.
agree with you that that one's important.
So we'll start with materials for
Especially-
January.
Even what happened last town meeting, people were somebody said about supposedly gutting the library and
Yes.
materials, so. Yeah, we,
So we'll do materials
Take
and
that
then
into account.
maybe, in the meantime, we could come up with like, could come and meet with you, we could put together a schedule. It's my least favorite thing to do, policies, if anyone else wants to step into. Policies.
I'd have to take a look at them and see
yeah,
how
Yeah.
comfortable I feel.
I'll defer to all of you guys, but to the extent that there is anything that is appropriate to be shared with me or to things taking place that would help me be up to speed as we're getting into more serious discussions of this stuff, feel free to share it. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying, please send me everything, but anything that you
Yeah.
think is not super confidential to the trustees, if there's anything.
Policies.
I'm glad to look it over.
Can see those.
Yeah.
So
Oh, have
Those are
you
definitely things.
gotten the handbook for new trustees?
I
No.
don't think I got it. I was,
I would love to have.
we,
I will send it to you. I can send it to you
wanting-
digitally.
did you get her email set up? Because that's like, I wanted to get the VLCT thing through for
I
her
haven't.
through the
And make
I
it,
email
know, 'cause
library.
I'm still working on the website. I'm still having issues with the website getting
So
transferred.
should I just go ahead and use her personal email to set her up with
Yeah.
VLCT then, so that it gets
do
done?
we want to bring someone in to help you with the website?
I just need to have like 3 hours to concentrate on some without getting interrupted. And I,
You are a mom.
and I've not had that.
I need to
time
schedule
in the last
daycare for you.
3 weeks.
She's probably sleeping between 1 and 4 in the morning.
Probably.
Most nights,
Can you
anyway.
come in here, like, time to,
I am going to have to do
Yeah.
that. And I also have to coordinate with Meg at the same time because I also need to be able to access her server so that I can do. So it's
Okay.
it's been a bit of a like, hey, can I do it? Can we do it this day? Oh, no, I can't do it that day. And so it's been,
Scheduling conflicts.
yeah. But I will.
sounds good.
This month has been insane.
So, I was looking
Right.
at for-
Maybe by the next meeting.
Hoping by the next meeting it'll be done. That's what I said last month. I'm really hoping that,
I was going to ask if I could sit in on the next meeting, but unfortunately Diane's having a procedure in Boston and I have an appointment with my physical therapist at exactly that time. So I apologize, but I can't participate, although I would have loved to if you'd have me.
you could always zoom in if you wanted to.
Mine is exactly at the same time. as the
Yeah.
meeting. My appointment is
By
exactly
then, you
the
might
same
even
time.
be on the board already.
Yeah.
Do we
Oh,
wanna
good. I'll
change
miss
the
my first meeting. That'll be terrific.
Do we change
Yeah.
the meeting date so that
We,
included?
that is something we can talk about. Yeah, do we want to do that? I think we
Um,
should loop Kathy into that if we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not something we have to decide right this moment.
so let's see, we already bumped it to the 12th for some reason,
No,
right?
the 12th is the
no, the
second
12th is
Tuesday.
the normal.
Yeah, it's the regular Tuesday. we do.
Second, so this, oh yeah, I see, sorry, October is
Yeah, it's just funny because the first was on Tuesday. So it's so early in the month.
1, 2, 3, it could be on the 5th. I
That's
might, I
election
might
day.
be, I might be out of town too, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
The 5th
This
is.
is election day.
Yeah. That's gonna be a little,
We can push it the other way to the 19th.
That's
does it
your-
have to be on a Tuesday?
No, it does
Can we
not.
do
We can change the
Wednesday the
day.
13th, day after?
Would that
Maybe
work
on
for
the
you?
I'm still in Boston.
Okay,
The following Tuesday would absolutely work.
the 19th?
Yeah.
I don't have anything on my calendar right now. I can actually make that. work, so.
Like, I am trying to plan vacation right now. We would hopefully have two. Um, November 19th. I could text her right now and see.
It's tentative if you want.
Yeah, well,
Text her and see if she responds.
if we do unchanged today, there's a possibility that I might have to miss that meeting just because
Okay,
I
let's
have
not change it.
already
Let's
put
just
in
keep it what it
my,
is.
my request for the day after that day for
Yeah.
work. So if we change it, I can't guarantee that I will be able to get that day off.
Keep it the same.
But I don't have to be at every, if, you know, we have the rest of the board here, the other four of you, and you can still have your quorum. Laura as vice chair could run the meeting.
No, I think we should keep it to the date that we have.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, we're all basing this assuming on,
yeah, and
Right,
then we can vote
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
on accepting him. We'll have to vote on that,
Yeah,
right?
Recommending to the board, to the select board thing.
Oh,
Once
One,
they say yes,
I
are we
don't-
all set?
we didn't have an official vote when we pulled her and we emailed and agreed
Okay,
upon it,
great.
Yeah.
Right,
but it
good.
wasn't an official motion or anything.
Right.
I think that we can communicate through email and decide upon, and then
Okay, great.
there's a very good chance he could be on the board by that meeting. And you
Well-
might have to miss your first.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's all right.
Well, and you're recording it, so I
Yes,
can,
you can
I
listen.
can, I can, I can
Look
listen
at the
in.
whole fascinating thing.
Actually, it has been.
okay, so where are we at right now? We're
It's still in
still
the
policy review is what we're on.
We move to unemployment.
I think we're good with policy review right now, right? We agreed upon the January. Do we need to make that a motion?
No,
So next up, unemployment. This, I will pull up my email. So I've been talking to Jody because she's the one that had all information on what we want to do in employment. We can switch to the VLCT, which we had already talked, well,
yep,
yeah, Diane, Kathy, and I have part of, I think I had just joined when we were going over switching to the VLCT to basically to save money so that we are not paying as much because of the claim that is out at the moment. Which there's a possibility that that claim might not, that might have ended in July. I have to reach out to Jeanette, or was it? Sorry, that was a lot of events. Kelly Avery is the contact for the VLCT for the new unemployment we talked about.
Okay.
But we need to, I guess, make a motion to make it official that we want to switch over.
it seemed like, and it's been a while since we've talked about it, but it seemed like that was the best
Yeah,
situation, right? So we just
Um,
need to make a motion to do it.
yes. You've seen already because it was at one of the meetings. I had Jody email it to me.
Oh,
It's empty.
It's empty.
Okay.
We'll let you both take to look that over. So this number might be modified. I would have to reach out to Kelly to see if the numbers have changed at all since this form was made for us. Which it very well could have changed a little bit.
Maybe, or it's based on that, the number for a certain number of years.
Exactly. It was like the 3 years where the claim would drop off, then our risk could go down if we switch back to. Currently, we're at taxable rate or. So if we switch back from taxable to the other option, then it might be cheaper once the claim is dropped off. That's something like 3 years from now, we would have to decide.
This is just, it is what it is. It's 872 a year, and then we'll.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I would just have to confirm that number with Kelly.
Right.
So we make a motion that we can do it based on that number with the possible increase of, I don't know how much you guys want to say, 10% or so. I don't know what their number would increase by at all.
Do we even have to say a number? Can we just say
We can just accept it,
accept that we're going from.
Yep.
We're putting our unemployment in with the VL,
the LCT. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can do that.
That's fine.
because there was a lot of research done on that.
Yeah, it was all done and it was all done.
It was saving us.
Most of it
a
was
lot
done
money.
before I got here and
Yeah.
definitely before you were here.
Yeah.
So I
There was-
think we
there's a-
can,
with a big.
I think we
Yeah,
can-
I trust that you guys.
we can trust the
You're right.
board at the time that they
Trusted her on
did
that.
it appropriately.
100%. I wouldn't trust
Yeah.
them on that one, so I'm.
Okay.
Alright, so I will make a motion to accept, we switch over to the VLCT unemployment membership plan. Second,
I was second,
alright,
and I.
all in favor?
Yes.
Alright,
Aye.
all opposed? This is,
Sweet.
okay. Next up was the W Mason tax exemption.
We don't use W.
Do we want to just let that drop?
Yeah, let's
Or
drop
do we
that.
have a,
It has,
like,
we don't really use.
do we have
them.
any history of using them?
I don't.
Is it a better
But
option?
then
for
once
us?
we started using them that last summer when we needed to have things
Yeah,
consistently, their access to. be
if
able
we
to get
decide to use
supplies.
them again, all I have to do is fill out a form and
Hmm.
send it. I do it
Okay, great.
all the time.
Okay, so
So
we'll
it's
just
not-
let it drop for now and
Yeah.
if we need them, we can update them in the future.
Or were they saying that they wanted a renewal of it?
They said,
They redid their tax exemption
yeah,
stuff, so they needed our information to do it again.
some companies will ask for it every year.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with that,
Yeah.
and some companies.
Yep.
And you don't use
Forget
them in a
about
better resource.
No, I don't, they're not. I use Quill most of the time and I find them to be really reliable and good and so.
Perfect, okay, great.
So
Oh,
that
let me
brings
go
us
get
to
Kendra.
Kendra, the youth
For her
librarian
song.
report.
Yay.
Yeah.
Sometimes readings are shorter than this.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask, what is a typical
This is it.
length of the meeting?
This has been a lot of discussion.
I
There's
think,
been a lot of-
yeah, I
I
think,
think the hoopla stuff was kind of a little.
I think this is a busier time of the year because of the
Okay.
budget
Okay.
and we're going over policies and stuff as well.
Okay, but typically.
The
close to a
summer, I
couple of
think,
hours.
tends to be slower.
The last couple have been like just over an hour.
Yeah,
Okay,
Then when we get the policy stuff, we had some that were 2.5. Usually one.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. That was the one I didn't come to. Maybe that's.
Yeah.
why.
the only reason I asked was I got a text from She Who Must Be Obeyed saying.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm always, oh my God, on Tuesday I'm here, and then I end up staying and I talk and then we go. And then you do this, pick out a book, and then I have to ask her, normally there's the silent reading.
Oh,
club
yeah,
tonight,
that's
so I
right.
don't know,
Hmm.
I guess is she's not.
Yeah, she's not feeling well.
I'd like to see like if Ellis could take.
No,
over some-
where have you been doing the
I
silent
agree
book
upon
clubs
that,
lately?
'cause She has a lot on place.
Oh,
we
got back up.
We're getting.
This is Silent Book Club. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like social media.
Ah.
Mhm.
Be here back
there.
Monthly, weekly.
Can't hold on my shirt.
Sure I can.
You know what? So you can either sit in a chair or you can stand and hold my hand. Okay, you're gonna stand and hold my hand. Do next. And she won't. Please stay with me. Did do it outside and we got finding leaves and things. And we are gonna move that back. Well, if you're not gonna stand up here and hold it, then you have to stay down there. Here. All right. I on it. Start. You were gonna go this little.
You should write you in.
Do you want you want your tablet?
Do you want me to try to get my mom to hang out with her?
Amelia, do you want to enjoy baby Richard's grandmother, but she will not speak directly. Amelia, do you want to look at something on my phone? Oh, she has things on her phone. Oh, I bet I have Frozen on my phone. Oh, but it's not on my phone. Come here, right? Or just sit right here. Right over here. I was talking. So yeah, the October is when the school visits start, and those are going to be pretty much all of Monday. They're coming pre-K 5, not her group, the next age group up, all through 6th grade. All of them are coming one Monday, third Monday specifically of every month. So I just thought it would be too hectic for our little families to change it up every couple of weeks. So we're moving it back to Fridays. It's gonna be at the same time as yoga, and also baby Richard can come up. And
School groups are back to Fridays.
the library explorer is like back to Fridays.
Mondays for the,
Mondays is when we were having it, but I'm moving the library explorer sub back to Fridays for the next session because the school comes on Monday. Yeah,
great.
only
That's
one
great.
Monday of a month. But yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
I love them. I love
And
them.
then we did a half day program, which was sewing, which was a huge hit. We had 12 kids come, which was a bit much. But they all did really awesome. Some of them listened to I did a presentation about sewing, and some of them listened to it and then decided not to really sew anything, two or three of them. And then the rest of them all sat here and we drew up our design and then cut it out of paper to be patterns, then cut it out of fabric, and we sewed it all together.
Now, how old were these kids?
There were kindergarten through 3rd grade. And both parents and kids have both asked for more.
Like, more like volunteers to help it.
Break it up into smaller groups. I think that that's really the best way because they all got to the same steps at the same time. And so I think it worked really good the other day. I had a few kids in who have done it and there was like 4 of them. And they just were like, can we do it again? Yeah, why not? So I busted everything back out. And so they all they each made another pillow. They didn't do the whole, there's square rectangle pillows. So using up scrap. So I think if I just do smaller groups and not do it as like a half day thing, that would work better. And that way I can separate younger kids and older kids and tailor the approach project even more. So like not necessarily smaller groups, but I think separating it out a little bit would be helpful. And then my take and make kits are going good. I've really, every month has just been kind of different. But I make between 6 and 8, kind of depending on how much supplies I have, and then do a little bit around that. Every video gets about 20 views, and pretty much all of our kits are always taken. Like there's one left for September, and by the time I'm ready to put out the October one, some of them did. So those are going good. And then reading is rewarding. It's been a very slow organic start because I knew that we're gonna put something in the trunk or treat bags about it, and then the school visits are gonna come, and then I have them at the capital things. So no use trying to like force people to listen to me talk about it. I basically only talk about when people come in, and start giving that stuff out. But then when I have the kids here for school visits,
I need to get
I'm like, this is what's happening, and get them all excited. Then those are all my programs I have like kind of are already rolling. Did RSO, which was amazing. And probably the biggest thing about that was wombats, which most everybody has already heard me evangelize about because how excited I am. We actually, as of this morning, are up to 7 families that have signed up and qualified for the paid research study. So that'll start also on the 21st. That Monday is going to be a little rough for me. That's okay. It's a sport.
Wombat is?
Wombat is a PBS Kids show, and WGBH and PBS Kids have teamed up to run a research study that pays the families participating as well as pays the staff doing it. And it's measuring the impact on using their curriculum and app in a library setting versus just them marketing it to families to use at home. So we'll run it's like basically a turnkey curriculum. That's a 6-week program, which is 2 of the 4 units that exist. And we have it set for Monday, from 5 to 6. Like, it'll be 6 Mondays in a row. To the families that got assigned to the in-person group, and they can come. And I literally, there's no like design by me. Like, I have a script, I have slideshows, I have
So they all have to come in here to the library.
the families that were assigned to the in-person group, which they committed to when they were agreeing to.
And that's on the Monday, the same as.
It just starts on that Monday, and then the next Monday is just Work It Out Wombats, and the school kids only come every third. So, and I just picked the Monday because I went over to Kids and Country and said, hey, like, this is what the opportunity is. Like, if you had to guess when would be the best night for families that come from your program, and Tasha and Andrew and me, spitballed a little bit and brainstormed, and the Mondays at 5 to 6 seemed to be when they were most likely fit. So we did get, of the 7, 3 of them are families that I did not know before. I believe are associated with Kids in the Country. I also sent it out to Mount Snow Daycare, Beaverbrook, the pre-K and kindergarten in Dover, the pre-K and kindergarten in Twin Deck, and kindergarten in Portsmouth. Obviously, is that we talking about it on? So that's great. I love like, I would have brought the program in anyway, because it's, very low cost, do it, like buy a pack of solo cups, to do it. And it's a really great program. And I was super excited about the workshop because I'm a super big fan of Work It Out Wombats, the show. Watch that. So I was very excited about it anyway. And I've already told some of the families that expressed interest but fell outside of the research study age group. It'll definitely be something that I continue offering and working and doing. So like, it'll be time for them to get as well. And then the other thing that I have no like, this happened and the ball got rolling. I really love the workshop that I attended on Youth Coding League, which is actually an older kid. It's grades 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And it's another turnkey program, but it's a very expensive program. But because of that, the Youth Coding League itself is applying for a grant through NSF, the National Science Foundation. And so I filled out their Google form and submitting a letter of collaboration. So if they get the grant, we are on the list of libraries who would want to receive their grant funding, and they're using their huge grant to then chunk it out to provide 5 years of participation in the coding league to libraries. That's also coding in stacks. And it's really cool. It's coding, but they have formed it so it has more of a sports vibe to it. Like jerseys, and the person who runs it is a coach, and they're training for the coaches, so you don't actually have to know their way. Yeah. And then they do these like competition. I don't remember if it's tournament style or not, where they like build their program for their, like, to achieve their coding goal, or the coaches training. And then like they compete, it's like a national competition. But so they wanted to like make coding like more like take those emblems of sports, the jerseys and the like competition style, and apply that to coding. It's really well thought out. So I find out about a workshop at ours. Nice. So in the workshops I went to. Yeah, so it was definitely a valuable conference. Only for and then we are all up in Dover School's business, and there's more of a nod to Alex, but I was the one they initially contacted, so I'll just 3rd and 4th grade was needing to fill a gap where they didn't have the funding for their new curriculum supplemental. So they, because of the relationship we've cultivated with them, the teachers felt comfortable enough to reach out and say, like, is this something you can help us with? And so we were able to get through interlibrary loan for 3rd and 4th grade. A lot of the recommended supplemental texts, they did just get a grant come through, so you're not going to need us to continue doing that. It's just like a great stopgap measure to get those in the hands of the kids to support them in their new curriculum. So yeah, and then we got a shout out. Then they're coming back. Well, they're not just coming back, they're coming back in droves, because last year we didn't have, some of the grades chose not to participate. And then now everybody's participating, including pre-K 5, which is new to us. But they're going to come in tandem with kindergarten. So role model. I know, we're advocates and going. Uh, it's gonna be good, and they're coming in the afternoon, so it's not even like the library's closed. That's fine, they'll figure it out. We're gonna run that one in like a traditional story time. We're gonna bust out those carpet squares, and they're bringing their staff, obviously, so it won't be too muddy. And then we are working still with the Cliff Year of the Book Grant. By still, I mean like it's actually just starting now. They had their first event, which was the kickoff, and so I went over to the school and got to see Marty Kelly present, and he's hilarious and did a really great presentation in 3 different sections from the youngest, middlest, and oldest kid, talking about like his writing process and like what does it mean to write books and like what about being creative and like how about we just don't be boring, let's be like exciting. He writes hilarious books, including Almost Everybody. And don't worry, I submitted our books for the Cliff Grant. And one of them we're gonna try and get is Almost Everybody from Read. They're hilarious. He's big on part jokes and it's fabulous. And this panda that rainbows and takes over the world. He's made it horrible and sappy about Mr. Twinklebottom.
It's Twinkle Bottom.
Yeah. But so he was our first author visit. And then, like I said, we got our books out, requests out to them, and then we're gonna get at that event. All of the kids got to take home a book, so I got to be there while they went to their table. We were like picking them out. We're talking about what are you picking? Like, this one. And that Fiona and Heather, who are the co-coordinators of the grant, at our next advisory meeting and figure out who like I'll still like rah about it, and it'll be open to the community. Newspaper here, big shtig. But with all of that happening, we are not sure if my red carpet event is going to happen this year. Just bringing in another event. Fiona's only at Dover School now 1 day a week. So she does not quite have as much time because she still has to like run the school library. So she's not sure if
She works for him too.
yes, that's why she was here. She was at Dover a day and only a half day at Wordsboro, and now they need her for full day and here. And I want to say she also does new. So she, I think, is what there might be short.
She keeps it all straight in her head.
I just know she's there on Thursday, so that's okay. It's books.
Yeah.
So there's all this
Walter getting in this too, or
entirely the Dover School. It was just a specific grant we wrote. Well, the Dover School Club wrote. So it's, and then as the youth librarian, I wrote a letter saying like, yeah, we love Dover School and we would be great at it. We would totally there with them on. So yeah, it wasn't a district thing. It was just Dover. And then we won't be able to get it again for another 5 years. She said she needs, but like I've got her to come in, so that's good. And she gave me, there's a homeschool listserv, but it serves like not even just the valley, like it's a listserv that does like maybe all of Southern Vermont. Like I was like, so like hopefully I'll be able to put announcements and things out that way so that at least I have a way of getting information in front of homeschool families.
Do you need more? Does she know other ones?
Here in the
Yeah.
Dover area, they're in Whitingham.
I know, I was about to say, I know one in Whitingham, I know one in Wardboro.
Yeah, I know the
I know
Whitingham.
in,
Yeah, if Ward, well, I know one in Dover.
okay.
I know they were across the East Dover Fire Department. I've known her for a while. I just haven't been able to broker it. I've kind of wore her down. But she's like also like she is a previous teacher. So like she doesn't need like everything we talked about. Like she was like, like, we do that, like, I was like, and you know, like chicken, she's like, yeah, we just have those, and I'm like, and we're gonna do a rotten pumpkin, and we're gonna do. It'll be a sealed container, it's called Pumpkin Jack, the thing. I didn't even make.
Microbiology is awesome.
I know, I just have to find the right container for it, so if anybody has a large. Probably not actually glass, but if glass will do, that's like concealing. Ideally I won't have it, so. But I think those are.
Container that seals.
Yeah,
What size pumpkin?
yeah, well, I figured just
Guy
like
or-
sugar.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe even like one of those like Costco size food containers, like,
Canister.
yeah, or a canister, or like, yeah.
Yeah, they're like glass jars.
Like the things that they like put flowers over sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you want it to be as airtight as possible to create like a little biodome.
Contained environment.
Yeah, then my other option is, because I want to do with it, like, I think probably 2 or 3 of the grapes. The other thing is I might just do like one of the little, like, might just do the big mason jars, like almost the giant pickle jars, you know, and do maybe 2 or 3. So one really big one, like, fine. So I'll just do it's like, show me that.
Rock
If you let me have, yeah, we did the, yeah, posted a reel
I
about
saw
it.
the picture.
Every jar grew something. Not all of them grew rock candy. Some grew. Yeah, so summer reading is officially over because I threw away the rock candy. Oh, Roberta is coming on this month's half day program. Is gonna come and read her 2 books, and those haven't yet, but they're quarter. I said you. Yes, and then
Just wondering, you mentioned that you are it's writing, see that she's a good writer.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in doing the, with Kendra and doing some article, even like, we never posted anything about or wrote any articles about the summer reading program and
yeah,
how successful it was.
yeah. So I'm not super good at that. I typically rely on AI to like write about me.
I would love
Yeah.
to see that. We
And I also am easily distracted, so like, let's make our own newspaper. And then we need a printing press. So it has to like,
the newspaper is open to articles if we write them.
Oh, right. like a little.
Just send me some info.
Even a picture of.
Yeah, I always, and like I have a Google form now for signing up for like when the kids come to programs. That's streamlined my life.
And the one coming up, it would be great if we could do some sort of media thing also, not just like an ad, but like just saying that we have like a local author who's coming to.
Yeah, Roberta would love that.
If
too,
we could,
because I
that
know
could be like a
she's-
small thing with a photograph or something like. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm the one doing it, I'm asking.
yeah, no, I agree. Like it's just definitely something that like
Yeah,
I'm not super good at. And that means I have to go pick up my boys. So I'm ready to-
thank you. We
So-
could have you come at the beginning.
I was about to say,
Little bit, and then
after, like after the financial report, we'll have to pull you in and then we can do the rest of the meeting. That works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just,
so
you know.
I had her on the tablet when we first got here, and she was nice and chill.
yeah,
And
I didn't know that, and we got on.
she then she chameleon.
After going through all the numbers of the budget, a little
Would you like
liveliness
to
would be
show your
good.
twirl
Yeah.
before we leave?
Oh, can I get one good twirl?
No,
Whatever.
Oh, that Ella's got all the good twirl. Ella's got the twirl. Ella's got all the good twirl.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, it's fresh in my mind. Just remembered another thing about the open trustee position that. Do we have it posted? Because we are supposed to post it, right? There, after Susan resigned. I don't know if we might have to like wait a few days on deciding because I think it has to be posted for a certain amount of time.
No, if it does, I think we just were trying.
Or is that just something
to
we're
be
doing to
open.
be
I mean, I can look and see if that's something that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Legally, but I don't believe it
I
does.
think
Okay.
verbally, you've been telling people
Yes.
here in the library.
Yeah, and that's how we got Roger.
And you've been telling people,
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
And then,
I mean, if it's not a requirement. then
You just
maybe we
email
can't
me a
move
copy
forward
when
with-
you library report.
since it's appointed.
I didn't get a copy of that one.
Okay.
I just,
I'll send
When is the next meeting? What it
with the
It's
15th
next
or
week.
something like that. Yeah, they're not going to
So-
put us on that agenda. I mean, I'll try, but I just very highly doubt it because they like to have at least 2 weeks. I was told
Okay. 2 weeks from when you tell.
from their meeting day to have it on their agenda for people to look at.
all right, well, I got one homeschool family
Which
who
there are
already
meetings,
replied
I
to me.
think.
He's messaging me.
29th.
Sweet.
Okay,
That's probably where he'll
He
be.
says
voted in.
Kendra to give her a call.
so you
Talk about how
presented
she
to
did.
them.
Yeah, I'll send them an email.
She's.
soon as
looks like
possible.
She might be posting it.
Okay.
Doing?
No, I was forwarding.
Oh, okay. You were so
To
busy.
Laura.
over there. So
Okay.
that sounds fine.
Youth librarian report. Now we got the director's report.
It's me. So we already talked about Steve, the dud. So I have somebody coming this week that has good references to give us a quote. And then if, I can also call your person too.
Yeah.
And get having more than one would be good. We have one already from somebody else, but we all thought it was kind of high.
And yeah, we had one that was really high, one that you
Yeah.
were like, maybe not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
I think we kind of just gave up on Annie because we never heard back from him, right?
yeah,
Yes.
in lots of respects, we
Yeah.
have. um uh so then Josh Portsman, who got us the quote for the custom furniture 3 hours after our trustee meeting last month. This is the quote he came in with. So it would be in addition to my desk so that I don't have to face the wall, for 500. The coffee table would be around 300. And then about 800 for the big table. So for all three projects, around 1,600 to 1,800.
Big table, you mean like the thing in the middle?
Yeah, the way like a giant
Yeah.
table, like 3 foot by
With
5
the
foot,
shelving underneath. Yeah.
with shelving underneath.
About the carts, weren't you gonna try to do something?
That's why the
Carts under them
the table will be high so that the
Mhm.
carts will roll right underneath.
and shelving too.
And there'll be a little bit of shelving in a couple of spots so that when we want to cover books, everything, all the supplies can be right there in that section.
Because right now, like, because was the other spot supposed to be for covering, but it just didn't,
It's too small.
it's too small, yeah.
And, you can't sit there. You have to stand to do it. It's,
Would you
Okay.
need to stand to do it at this?
no, you'll buy tall chairs. But where it is now has the shelves right underneath where you sit, where you would sit, which makes it impossible to put your legs anywhere. You have to sit back so far that you couldn't reach the
Right.
countertop. So at the table, it'll have the stuff on the side and then it'll just be a little more streamlined and easy. And Carol won't have to have her desk from 1950 with the
Typewriter.
typewriter.
What are you getting?
Getting the addition to my desk so
Yeah.
that I can face forward. Yeah. Well, she would be at the big table,
Yeah, I can
with
use
the
the
rest
big
of us. We're
I can use
inclusive to Carol.
Like what it would be a lot, ergonomics would be so much better for all the pieces, so yeah. Bad back, I appreciate it. Great. And way more functional.
Does
Yeah.
it seem reasonable to you?
I think that seems
I think
more
that's
than
a-
reasonable.
I think that sounds like for a custom.
Yeah.
3 pieces of
For
custom
custom work, that's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's astounding.
And I've seen his work. Jody sent me pictures and it's amazing.
Okay,
So-
so let's vote on it then, right? Okay. Let's do it.
I'll make a motion to go forward with Josh building the custom furniture for the office with the quoted price of 1,600 to 1,800.
I will second that.
Aye.
All in favor? All right. Passes unanimously.
Let's see, we already talked about strategic planning and you guys passed the $1,000 for the funding. The biggest thing I did this past month was employee evaluation. Neither one of them have been here a whole year yet, but I think both of them are great employees and, they got very favorable evaluations.
Excellent.
We're very lucky to have them.
Kendra seems very enthusiastic.
She is, yes. She had a program almost every day that we were open for the month of July. Yeah.
It
Which
was incredible. And there's been a lot of positive feedback with Kendra from the kids at the Dover School. Both Richard and I have
Yep.
kids in second grade.
Yeah.
And but even people, the kids at the school know Kendra now.
Wow,
And
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You say Kendra and then it's associated
excited.
Yep.
with the library. it's like Kendra and
You
library.
build that
That's-
linkage early. That's just
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah. So, and both of them set some things to work on for the next year. And I think we agreed on what priorities. So it was,
Do we get to hear that or like, how does that go?
I mean, it's an open meeting, so I
Yeah, no,
couldn't
not
share
that.
that here,
Yeah.
but I could send you copies of their evaluations if you want.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds interesting to me too. I'm just curious what come up with schools and,
Yeah.
yeah. I think they're awesome.
And then I did a little recap of the Association of Rural and Small Libraries conference. It was fantastic as always. I am now a certified mental health first aid responder. So I can deal with people in crisis and I have the resources
Wow.
to send them to. I am not a medical professional, which was beaten into us over and over again. But it was 8 hours of learning about dealing with people in crisis. And then more fun, I went to a session about outreach. I didn't know there was association of outreach and what is it? I have it written down right here. No, they are the Association of Bookmobile and Outreach Services.
Oh.
And I didn't even realize that was a thing, but it is. And I have a whole list of different places you can go to do outreach. So that was fun.
What do you mean, like different places to do outreach?
Like go to
Yeah.
like
Sorry.
senior living facilities, childcare centers. That's mine saying Lily's going to get off the bus here in a second. Different community partnerships, food
Great.
banks, farmers
I
markets.
love it.
And then they also gave the idea that if you're going to everybody goes to trunk or treat, right? And we're going to go to trunk or treat. And we're going to hand out books. I have a whole big
Cool.
box of books to hand out at trunk or treat.
Oh,
Don't
I
worry,
love
I'll be reminding Rotary that they can also to hand
Good.
out books or hand
Good.
out stuff there. But don't just give the kids the books, give them the books and a calendar of all of the things that are coming up and information. And so we bought some paper bags, we bought a stamp. So now we have a giant Dover Free Library stamp. And the kids when they get their book at trunk or treat, they'll get a bag of information too.
Sounds like a perfect Rotary volunteer event.
Right. Yes.
That sounds like incredibly useful information. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more of that. That's great.
Yeah.
And then strategic planning was awesome. That was very interesting. The session about the memory cafe.
That's so fun.
I had wanted to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then the woman who
And then
did
you
it,
forgot.
well, I kind of thought it would be really hard. to do. And
What is a memory cafe?
so a memory cafe is a space for people who have dementia slash memory issues to come and have a couple of hours where they can meet with other people with memory issues and their caregivers can meet with other caregivers. So
It's a networking opportunity.
it's a networking opportunity. It's also a way for like Senior Solutions uses it to share information. And it's not like babysitting, but you also have volunteer who can like sit with the people. They call them the loved ones, the people with the memory issues. They can sit with the loved ones while the caregivers get to like sit in a different room and have coffee with the other caregivers. And sometimes there's a program associated with it, like they love music. So sometimes you might have somebody come in and play the guitar and do a sing along, or sometimes you just sit and chat and do like
A beautiful thing.
yeah, exactly. But it's very for the library, it's very low key. So we would provide food and volunteers. And that's basically I ended up meeting with Joanne from Senior Solutions, who was super enthusiastic, came all the way here from Springfield to meet with me like the next day.
Do you need volunteers for that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to recommend connecting with, I think it's now called Vermont State College down in Brattleboro.
Okay.
Their nursing program
Uh-huh.
each student needs to do, I think it's something like 6 days worth of volunteerism per semester, something like that. So they need to,
Yeah.
and these are all students who are training, especially in that first and second semester, on memory care. So they are quite literally, this is something that they are learning about actively.
Love you so much.
So with them, Cheryl Doobie and what's the name of the other teacher there? Listen,
We're all coming.
Yeah, but that would be a really great opportunity for the nursing students to get their volunteer hours and time in.
The first Wednesday of the month, if anybody, has anybody they want to share with.
First, what?
The first Wednesday of the month at 10 o'clock. And I'll go from 10 to 12.
If you can't
When
get
do you
enough
starting that?
responses from there, which I think is far better than the idea that I come up with, talk to John. We've been talking about senior outreach in Rotary.
That was on my list.
Okay.
So,
Have you already started, or is it something you're planning?
so the volunteers have to be trained. It's a couple hours to be trained. And Joanne does the training. And then once they're trained, if we can get volunteers fast, we'll start in November. If we can't get volunteers fast, we're going to start in January. Because apparently if you start in February. Because apparently if you start in December or January, you should expect nobody to come. So,
Yeah, holidays and
yeah.
Interesting.
She said they started in Wilmington in the first couple of days of January and it was a bust. So,
At the library?
no, they do it at the old firehouse in Wilmington. Let's see. And then the last session I attended was great. It was about emotional intelligence, and the key takeaways were think before acting. Every time you say yes to say something, you say no to something else. So not just your time, but also like employees, if you let one employee do something, then you're going to be saying, if Ellis came to me and said, I want to do this, and Kendra said no. If I say yes to Ellis, then I'm also saying no to Kendra. So it's always a balancing act. And then vulnerability is not weakness.
Pretty good philosophies.
Yes, absolutely. And then programming, all the normal programming is continuing. We had one person attend a movie this month, which is a record for,
Tell me that's a low record, not a high record.
no, it's a high record.
It's a high record.
Yeah. I think we had one movie where two people came, and yeah.
So maybe we don't do that anymore, you know? Or
I'll be right with you. Can you go get changed? Okay, thank you.
Say soccer.
No, she goes to circus on Tuesday, but Hadley comes and picks her up.
Yeah.
So we trade children. I forgot to tell Hadley that Emery wasn't going to be there. Anyway, Dover Day is October 19th.
I reached out to Janet and never heard back from her.
And I saw your email. I'll talk to you about it later.
We'll talk later. That sounds
Yes.
perfect. I'm
Um,
trying to get here early to talk to you and I didn't make it, so.
and then the last thing was about the memory cafe, which we were talking. So I'm sure there are things I'm missing, but I apologize. I did it this morning because
Sorry you've been
there
so
was
sick.
no energy last.
Mhm.
No energy.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a lot and all the information and
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that, I need to work on that didn't happen in September, but they will happen in October. So
that's a good question. It says attendance 309. Is that like pretty normal for September? I don't know because I can't even remember what it was last year.
I don't know what it was last year. I have everything in a spreadsheet for the whole year, since I started last
Yeah.
October.
Yep.
I have to like go through and manually write in all of the things that happened before I got here.
And I know
Let
the
me
summer was super high, so
Yes, the summer, and that's,
circulation looks good.
I mean, for my experience in Wilmington, that was very reflective there too.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
common.
Well, it's great.
Statistics.
You guys know about Dover Day?
I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly.
What was that?
That's
Dover
basically
Day.
celebrating
Oh.
over.
Yeah, it used to be something that the town did. And then they just kind of stopped doing it, I think, because it was all volunteer run and just kind of paused. But the Janet at the Historical Society is bringing it back and has coordinated with the Allison to have the library be part of it. So we're represented, and you're right, it's on the advertisement socially on social media that she's doing.
Was the 19th?
The 19th, it's Saturday, and it's at
Yes.
the Dover Town Hall.
There's
And then-
apparently going to be an apple pie baking contest.
Oh,
So
19th.
there'll be
What about
food,
that?
there'll be fun, there'll be
sort of like
music,
simple fun.
fire pit, s'mores,
Apple, like
games.
cider, donut eating competitions on strings.
Yeah.
She has all sorts of things planned. It looks really nice and,
Yeah.
so I will reach out to her and talk to
Bowling
you later.
swap. There's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, using your
Here
philosophy,
in
you
the
say yes to the
library.
pie eating contest, you have to say no to the donut eating contest.
That one. No, we say yes to all of it.
It's
We
like
say
really
no.
Good thing.
Yeah,
Buying
really
small
small
things.
things. So like that.
You meet
No
people
small
you interact
plans.
with.
I hope it all
Yes
day,
to
like
pie.
like the
Last year in
local
September
timers
was
were here. It was really fun.
459.
459.
459 last
Oh.
September.
But
Not
also,
that far off, but we
Yeah.
were up in August and July over at Burgess.
yeah.
So, stealing our car. Richard's car's being stolen.
Random thought, if you have any little free library, I'm always doing it and it's actually really well used. Sometimes there's some extra stuff in there that I've been pulling out just to keep it fresh and appropriate. But there's the thing that you got to
Yeah.
thing that it's really hard to get your hand in there, and if they're too small, you can't get them out.
Yes.
Is there any way we could get something different or at least get whole pages to put in there?
I'll do whole pages.
Okay.
And I will print out a bunch of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Just need to.
Because it's a nice resource again for outreach to
Yeah.
put things out there, so. And I'm happy to, like, if you ever have them and there's extra, I'm happy to hang them at the post offices and, I don't know. There's like the couple of the markets you can hang stuff at
I
and,
might be the only one here.
Times flyers work.
Yeah, definitely.
Dover School, we should be hanging things for Dover School.
Absolutely.
When people are left again.
The Dover School Club has a section, I think that's where they can post stuff there. That's just their section.
Yeah,
So
we
you
should.
can coordinate with
It
them.
might be, maybe you guys are, maybe
mean-
you can just posting stuff, I don't know.
And I know, I'm sure Kendra could connect with Ryan, who can connect her with the people at the Mount Snow daycare.
Yeah,
But I know a lot of the families at the Mount Snow daycare, like they work in this area,
yeah,
but they don't live here. And I feel like we could really get a lot of folk the daycare to visit the library. No,
we have,
that we don't have, like get
Oh, yeah.
get new
although it
people.
sounded like she's trying to reach out to them through like that program with the Wombat, she reached out.
It's interesting because I mean, my daughter's in the baby room, so I don't know if she
Yeah.
put it in other rooms, but I didn't hear about anything
Nothing,
going through it.
maybe she
Okay.
did reach out to that age group
Yeah.
for that, yeah,
But I'm saying like, if we want to increase attendance, that is a market to really, we could,
there's a few other markets too.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel like there's so much potential, especially like one of the big things of just the transient tourist population is pulling, if you can get some of them pulled to the library, I think that'll really work. It's just a matter of,
Yeah,
like, I know you're at Green Spring, so you, I'm sure, see all the tourists, all of them.
Yeah, but
Is there
Only
like,
on weekends.
is there like a community room?
Yeah,
at
there's a
Green
community
Spring
center,
and stuff
yeah.
like that? Yeah, and like even just pop in a flyer
Sure.
or
Oh,
something like
yeah,
that would.
I'm sure I can, not a
that-
problem.
we're off on another topic.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
We're all
Alright.
excited about
Yep.
outreach.
Okay.
So,
Community
Like,
outreach.
should we put that on our agenda or is it too much for next?
We can add it to the next
Yeah.
agenda.
Just have it in there as
Yeah.
a conversation.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
We're doing 3 outreach events this year. Or a month, this month.
Nice,
We're doing the wellness day,
trick or treat,
trunk or treat, and Dover Day.
yeah.
So
You guys are killing it.
thank you.
Nailed it.
Good.
Yeah, great.
All right.
There.
We can call the meeting to a close at 2:54 PM.
It's a long one.
Yep.
It's all right.
No, for
I will
for post,
second that.
just a quick post-closing comment. I'd love to be a part of this group. I mean, I think it's just an awesome, I love the interaction, the give and take, the